to Wayne Carey. Everyone's talking about Nick Riewoldt.
Yeah, big raps on him, KB. That's a lot of pressure. Was very quiet last week. Was well held by Baird from the Kangaroos. So a player as young as he is, you'd expect him to bounce back today with a big game, and St Kilda will need that.
There's Stenglein, of course. Tyson does stop good players, has got the ability to put the stoppers on. So it'll be interesting to see who he picks up today. He's picking up, there's Robert Harvey. And of course, Robert Harvey, one of the greats of AFL football. Twice winner of the Brownlow medal. And let's hope to get through this season without any injuries. And there's arguably the best player in the competition, the most exciting player, Andrew McLean.
Interesting there, Jason. Nick Riewoldt, you might have thought he would have gone to Wayne Carey perhaps, but he's lined up on Brett Burton on the wing.
Set to go, it's round 2 action, St Kilda and Adelaide from the Telstra Dome. The Saints won the toss, will kick to the left of screen in the opening term. The Capuano to go in the ruck for the Saints. Clark up the tap, only as far as Riewoldt. First effective disposal of the game. Goes inside 50, here's the dangerous Stephen Milne. Could be a dream start, runs to 30 metres out, goes for goal and kicks it. What a start for the Saints. Goal inside the first 20 seconds. And Stephen Milne, the excitement machine, has got one.
Yeah, Nick Riewoldt started on the wing, got in there nice and early off the lines, quick kick out of the pack. Stephen Milne, the replay will show quite clearly here that Riewoldt comes through, quick kick towards centre-half forward. Well, you might say there, KB, Milne should play in front of as a forward, but a player with that sort of pace and ability, used his experience, got behind, gathered the loose ball, and a good start for St Kilda.
Well, unfortunately, Tyson Stenglein went to ground. You don't want to go to ground when you're playing on this boy here. Last week, they're only multiple goal kicker for St Kilda, booted 4, and he is an excitement machine, Stephen Milne. So what a start it was for the Saints. And Nick Riewoldt coming off that centre square, playing on Burton, maybe trying to take a bit of pressure off Riewoldt. He has been the face of St Kilda. Speak of the devil, he's got it. All tied up in the tackle by Burton. So ball up still inside the centre square. And the St Kilda bench, we can see Swars down there on the bench, and Baker as well, who's playing his 50th game today for St Kilda. There's Clark pushing and shoving. Riewoldt got the tap. Ball pumped back by Powell. High ball inside 50. Backing back was McGregor, couldn't take it, but he's got the free kick. No, it's going to Hamill. Well, the skipper's back. He has such presence on the field, Aaron Hamill. And if he can kick St Kilda's second goal in 2 minutes, it will be the dream start. You can see there where McGregor all over Aaron Hamill, so it was a great umpiring decision. So Hamill will kick from right on 50, leans back, starts to bend it right to the line. Big pack of players, a big grab taken by Koschitzky. This will bring a smile to the face of Grant Thomas. This young boy has had so many injuries. Last season, you see that shoulder very heavily strapped as well. And Koschitzky from close in kicks a goal.
Well, really, it's unforgivable, especially when you consider the experience and the name of the particular players in the Adelaide defence there. Koschitzky shouldn't have been able to mark the ball relatively easy there. I think the Adelaide players might have thought the ball might have been going through for a behind, but you can't allow a forward player from the opposition to take an easy mark on the goal line.
Amazing start for the Saints. We've gone 3 minutes. St Kilda have had 6 disposals, have 2 goals on the board. Adelaide, not 1 possession in the game as yet, and they already trail by 12 points. For a young side, vital to get confidence early in the game. And the Saints have got a flyer. Back in the middle. St Kilda have had 2 clean takeaways out of the middle of the ground so far. Capuano against Clark. Clark again got the hit out, but off the back edge of the square. This time it was Aussie Jones. Kicks towards centre-half forward. The bouncing ball is tapped on by Milne inside 50. Another opportunity for the Saints through Hamill. Just can't quite get a handle on it. It's gathered now by Hayes. Hayes goes backward. Opportunity for Ball. Ball feeds out a handball to Hayes. Adelaide working hard defensively in their own 50. Bassett taken down by Koschitzky. Ball couldn't get an effective kick away. It comes to Milne. Stenglein's got a piece of him. Ball through again. It is hot in there at the moment. Laddams. Ball still moving forward for St Kilda. McGregor taken down and a fierce tackle by Hamill. Umpire says my ball. Adelaide on the ropes there inside their own defensive 50. Good, tough, physical 45 seconds of football.
It's amazing what one player can do to a side. They're here to play the St Kilda Football Club. Aaron Hamill, that's what he does best, in and hard, in and under the packs, putting pressure on in the forward line and maintaining possession.
So the Saints still a chance. Clark, uncontested in the ruck. Got it down to Bickley. Thumps it towards the wing. Black slapped it to ground. John Cock tried to get it to Rasciuto. Ball still alive. Here's a chance for the Crows through McLeod. Searching kick to half forward, looking for Carey. Carey got the fist away. At ground level, Burton against Rewalt rather. Burton kept his feet. Runs to 50, steps inside Gehrig, runs to 35. Brett Burton goes for goal and just pops it across the face. In fact, there's a free kick against Burton for running too far. And the ball will come back to St Kilda.
Yeah, had the king there on his own, could have fed off the handball running into an open goal. Disappointing finish from Brett Burton.
So Gehrig with the resultant free kick. In the back pocket for the Saints. He's got the job on Wayne Carey this afternoon. Goes short to Harvey. And finds his former captain for his first possession at defensive 50. Robert Harvey, what a champion player he's been. 257 games for the Saints. 2 Brownlow medals. Goes towards the wing. His old mate Nathan Burke is the target. Hamill comes crashing through. Releases the hands to get the ball towards Lenny Hayes. He flicks it to Thompson. He's under pressure. The tackle came from John Cock. And the ball spills out of bounds.
Just notice a couple of things. The St Kilda players are off the lines when there's a centre bounce. They're first to the ball. There's numbers around the ball. They're certainly getting their presence around the ball, giving plenty of support to their teammates at the moment.
So throw in. Plenty of players around this one again. Clark got it down to Burton. Kick over his head towards the 50. Edwards and Black. Edwards tracks it back. Chance for Goodwin now. Just inside 50. Spots a target. It's Smart's got to wait underneath it. Did so and took a courageous mark.
Yeah, good mark under some pressure there. I just thought that Xavier Clark perhaps hesitated in his initial attempt to go and spoil. As a result of that, didn't get to Nigel Smart in time. Replay, just the hesitation there. Probably should have made his mind up to come back and spoil.
So here's Nigel Smart for Adelaide's first goal. And the veteran makes no mistake. The Crows are on the board at the Telstra Dome. Nigel Smart gets his first for season 2003. And it's St Kilda 2 goals, Adelaide 1.
Good play from Nigel Smart. He's just making his way back to the half-back flank, so he's pushing forward when the Crows have the ball. But just a little bit of inexperience there from Xavier Clark, and I'm sure that if he has the opportunity again, he'll make a better effort.
Two straight goals to St Kilda. The Crows 1 straight goal, so 6 points the difference. Also, Nathan Burke has been taken from the field and Swartz has been put straight onto Nigel Smart. So whether or not St Kilda are disappointed, there was no chasing down there for Nigel Smart. Stenglein might have his hands full today. Stephen Milne's already booted a goal. Tawney comes away. Great game last week. His first for the Crows after crossing over from Tigerland. And he finds Burton. 2 high flyers. Matthew Burton, the Birdman, on Nick Rewalt, playing on centre wing. So he's across half back. McLeod wants it short. Too much carry on the ball. And Harvey chips in and takes the mark. Inside 50. Going to drop short. Wolf playing in front of Hart. I like Wolf as a player. I reckon he's one of the big improvers for St Kilda. He's quick, he can jump, he's athletic, and he can be a thumping kick. From outside 50, Wolf leans back. Great kick. Great goal. Three straight goals to St Kilda. They lead by 12 points.
A couple of things there, KB. The importance of a forward being in front. The kick from Robert Harvey wasn't... it floated actually a little bit off the boot, but Wolf was in front, took a good mark and a good goal. But again, it's another example. Where was the Adelaide ruckman? That ball just got over the line. There should have been a tall ruckman or a backman from the Adelaide Crows making sure that that ball was spoiled, marked or punched through from behind.
So St Kilda have come to play. They were very good last week for 3 quarters against the Kangaroos. Faded badly in the last term. But Grant Thomas says he's got nearly his best side in today. Koschitzki has already kicked a goal. So has Milne. So has Wolf as Clark Always gets his hands on the ball first. Edwards caught in the tackle by Lenny Hayes. They'll pile on top. McLeod there fighting for the ball. So Xavier Clark. And we've got a ball up on the edge of the centre square.
KB, just wanted to ask Wayne, heard a whisper that Riewoldt would play on the wing at the start of the game, just as much to keep Burton accountable and stop him going forward as Nick being able to go forward himself. Should the Crows look at tagging the wingman?
Well, not at this stage, Mark. I think you've got to give him, let it run till quarter time, see how things are going. But I think it's a good move on the behalf of St Kilda. Thompson
to ball, dragged off his kick. Ricochets to Stephen Powell. Searching kick inside 50. Wolf's there. So's Milne. Spills to the back of the contest. Stenblind. Little handball into the path of Ben Hart. And between them, they work it to the boundary for a throw-in.
I just think on the Riewoldt move, rather than having defensively, it gets him into the play a lot quicker. And I think a good point Mark brought up keeps Brett Burton a little bit more accountable, because he does like to play a free-flowing attacking game.
I think also, Wayne, it does take the pressure off Nick Riewoldt a bit. I've never known a young boy to have so much publicity going into a season as Nick Riewoldt. He is the face of St Kilda. And I think last week it may have taken its toll. He did struggle against the Kangaroos. I think they just want to ease him into the game. I would think at some stage that man on screen there will see him maybe go down forward, play in a more key position. But for the time being, he's on the wing. 10
possessions, 6 marks last week to Nick Riewoldt. Stenglein takes it from the congestion. Gets it to Johncock. To the wing. Penny against Stevens. The ball goes out for a throw-in. Luke Penny came across from the Bulldogs at the end of last season. He was a trade for pick number 17 in the 2002 draft. There's the Adelaide bench. Gallagher, Riley, Biglands and Matner. Gallagher, a late change coming in for Matthew Bode. Throw in just forward of the wing in St Kilda's favour. Plenty of players around this one again. Riewoldt, little toe poke. Hamill used his body well. Created some space. Got it out to Harvey. Harvey to Powell. Powell will go high inside 50. Kazitsky will come through the contest. It spills to the back from Milne. Here's a chance. Can't quite get his hands on it at the moment. Edwards comes crashing in and takes Milne high. Free kick to Stephen Milne. 35 metres out, fairly much directly in front, and a chance to kick his second. And Wayne just shows the, I guess, the esteem in which Stephen Milne is held, that Adelaide are putting their #1 tagger, Tyson Stenglein, who usually runs with a midfielder, onto Milne.
Yeah, good point, Jason. And look, he's an exciting player, and as a player that's just continued his development from a stellar year last year. He looks out of the contest, but because he's got a lot of pace, he gets himself in and under the packs. The ball can be, generally he likes the ball to be put down on the ground so he can play his normal game.
40 metres out, Stephen Milne didn't like it off the boot, and that's the reason why.
But he's a handful, and I think it's a credit, and he should take it as a compliment that Adelaide have decided to put Stenglein on him, and he's a forward-line player.
50 goals in 2002 for Stephen Milne, 8th in the AFL. Long kick in towards the centre, and Adelaide are away around the wing through McLeod into open space. He'll go searching inside 50. Well-weighted kick looking for Carey, and a free kick will come back, and it'll go St Kilda's way. Carey just cannoning into Xavier Clark in that marking contest.
Good play by Xavier Clark and a good courage. I don't know whether he knew that Wayne Carey was behind him, but he got himself in front of the opposition player and rewarded with a free kick.
Hand off to the run of Aussie Jones, who switches play to the dock side of the ground and finds Nick Riewoldt. Second touch for him. Kicks across the wing. Hamill wrestling with Bassett. Free kick going the way of Nathan Bassett. Ball will come back. Umpire deems he caught Hamill across the shoulders. Nathan Bassett, who started his career in the reserves at Melbourne, was traded to Adelaide at the end of 1997. Has really stepped up to become one of their key defenders in the last couple of seasons. He goes towards half forward. Penny comes across the back of the contest to take the mark. He'll switch play again to Capuano at defensive 50. He's had a horror run with injuries, Matthew Capuano, over the years. Dual premiership player with the Kangaroos. Goes short to Hudgton. He switches back to Gehrig. Gehrig will now go to the outer side towards the loping Troy Schwartz. Johncock tries to get there to make a contest. Does well. And force the ball to the boundary line. Give Adelaide another chance to go forward as Capuano comes to the bench for a spell. And he will be replaced by Barry Brooks, playing his second game of league football after coming over from Port Adelaide at the start of the season.
So the young man from King Island gets his chance today. Also good to see Luke Penny take an early mark. It'll be great for his confidence, and a lot of injuries with the Bulldogs. Aussie Jones from that last line of defence goes short, finds Harvey, his partner in crime. Thompson from half back pumps the ball down, looking for Hamill. He's always the focus up forward, play in front of Bassett. finally takes the ball over the line for a toss back in. So the Saints by 13 points.
I doubt whether there's a more important player to a club at the moment than Aaron Hamill. Just the way he goes about his footy sets a tremendous example, and it really leads from the front for the St Kilda side.
60 metres out from the Saints goal. Clark playing in front. Now the umpire, I think he wants the boundary umpire to take 2.
Why can't they do that for a throw up or a ball up there, KB?
You can, but it's rarely called. The umpire can call that if he wishes. I think it happened once last week in round 1. Ball. Didn't quite get the handball away. Hamill can set it up, goes wide. Here's a chance for Baker in his 50th game. Bangs it through.
It's a side of Stephen Baker's game he's worked on in the last 12 months. Wayne kicking more goals. Kicked 10 last season for a career total of 13, and he's managed to sneak forward in the first term.
Yeah, it's a good way to start his 50th game. The thing I've noticed with St Kilda, they're not in awe of who they're playing. They've got some great players. Adelaide, when their teammates win possession, they run forward. They've got the confidence that their teammates will hit them with the disposal. They're free running, and they're certainly backing themselves in. They're playing accordingly.
Stephen Baker started on the bench in game number 50. He's burst onto the scene, he's kicked the goal, so it's a great start for the Saints. 4-1-25 players, 1 goal, 6. Powell tried to kick it out of the air. Fresh air shot. Pack of players and a ball up.
KB, Mark Bickley in game 250. He now finds himself on the bench. Brent Riley onto the ground.
And Bigland's also just biding his time on the boundary line. So Clark to do the ruck work. Burton comes over the top and slaps it down. Been pounced on by Powell. Edge of the centre square. Deep penetrating kick. Wolf, the high flyer. They'll need a crummer at ground level. Bassett jumps on the ball. In comes Hamill. Just a little bit of body work. And we've got a ball up. And Biglands is on. And Matthew Clark off for the Crows.
Been a handy pickup, Stephen Powell.
And charges into this ball up. Biglands, he ran a good 80 metres. Take that front position against Brooks. Tawney somehow weaved his way out of trouble. Rashudo, the raging bull, comes away from half back, looking for Stevens, needs a kind bounce, gets it. Stevens, 35 metres out, wild kick. Way off target and out of bounds on the full.
Just needed to take his time, Mark Stevens. Had some space, got himself into some open territory, hurried the kick, reportedly out of bounds on the full.
Hodgson. His target's going to be Rewald. Over the back was Rashudo, went the big fist. Bigland's caught high. Will take the free kick.
So Biglands straight onto the ground and straight into the action. Didn't get a lot of match time last week. Just the 8 possessions. He'll go inside 50, looking for Carey. There's been an infringement off the ball. Holding. It's coming back. It's going the way of the Saints.
Well, the infringement obviously happened in the contest where Wayne Carey was. I'm not saying he was responsible for it, but of course, therefore, the ball comes back because this is a better advantage for the side rather than take it 50 metres behind.
So Rewalt to Powell. Thought about playing on, now called to go. Back to Rewalt. To centre half forward. Harvey lurks at the back of the contest. Big fist away from Tawney. Powell at ground level. Quick hands to Black. Spears a kick inside 50, looking for Burke and finds him. Open goal square. Won't go the journey from there, you wouldn't think, Nathan Burke. So he'll pop it up to the top of the goal square. Players come from everywhere. Milne almost spins off. Tawney. Great smother from McGregor. Shut that down. And Nathan Bass runs through the behind. But Stephen Milne swooped on it again. Just couldn't quite snatch it with one grab.
Doesn't need a lot of room to move in. He kicked a terrific goal like that last week. But Stephen Powell is certainly setting up a lot of the forward attacking thrust for St Kilda. And he's had 4 disposals in the first quarter.
Tawney to the outer side. Edwards and Jones. And the ball goes out of bounds. Important start this for the Saints. They lead by 20 points. Their record against Adelaide in recent times is pretty ordinary. They've lost 8 of their last 9 against the Crows by an average of 40 points. So to get a good start this afternoon will just build their confidence. Biglands and Brooks at ground level. Riley gets a kick towards half forward. Penny and Stevens jostling. The free kick will go to Adelaide. And Mark Stevens inside the centre square. The lead's on from Carey. The kick will pitch just in front of him. Gehrig on his shoulder. Carey gathers with a one hand, twists and turns out towards the 50. Beautiful kick. Just swung it inboard to Riley. He goes from 45, had more time than he realised. Could have gone back and taken the kick. And he misses to the left-hand side. Brent Riley playing his third game of league football this afternoon after being Adelaide's first draft pick in 2001. It's an All-Australian under 18. Aussie Jones with the kick in. It's called to move on by the umpire. He goes short to Harvey. Played on. But Perry put enough pressure on to force it backwards to Jones. He trots out to defensive 35. Decides to head to the outer side. Puts it out in front of Powell, got a couple to beat. And Hart just beat him to the contest on that occasion to take the mark. So Ben Hart, centre wing, city side of the ground, goes inside 50. Penny picked off the lead beautifully. Got across to take the mark, Luke Penny. He's got Rewalt in the middle of the ground in some space. The kick was a good one. And Rewalt takes the mark, coming up for his fourth touch. Chips it over the top to Powell, who's been everywhere. Powell can run to 55 metres out. Horror kick, came off the instep. Towards the pocket, Milne. Not a lot of space to work in with Stenglein. Tries to turn him inside out and does. The Jack in the Box has got it. He'll step around onto his left boot and snaps a brilliant goal. It was touched. Bad luck for Stephen Milne. The human highlight reel did it again, but a good piece of defensive play, and he comes up with a minor score.
Such an exciting player. He thought he had it, but it was touched. The man on the mark, and he tried to get around. Got a fingertip to it.
He is a fair dinkum freak show, isn't he?
Well, he's an excitement machine, no doubt about that. The man with the dancing feet as Hart pumps the ball back wide. Bigland stands his ground. Rewalt trying to take a one hand up. McLeod on the charge, runs the centre wing, thumps the ball down. Carey's the target, had him in his sights. I think the sun might have gone in his eyes. On one knee, Carey bounces to his feet. Centering kick. Getting across is Penny. He's been a good player for the Saints in this first term. There's a couple of very good matchups. Thompson's playing on Rashudo and Harvey's playing on McLeod. And the Saints have got, no doubt, the Crows off balance. Wolf marks in front of Hart. Between half-back and centre wing to the half-forward line. Hamill is always their target when they go forward. And they've got to make certain that they get a crummer at his feet, Wayne, because he's actually going to contest very hard, Aaron Hamill. Yeah, they do, KB, but I just think with Aaron Hamill, the other dimension to his game, if there's no crummers around him, he's very good once the ball's hit the ground, recovering and gaining a second possession. Good 75 metres around from St Kilda's goal. Capuano slaps the ball down. Hart's caught, wrapped up in the tackle by Thompson and Hamill. So let's have a look at Wayne Carey here. The ball just donged him on the scone. Well, that's a falcon. It's pretty difficult down that end. Of course, the city end of Telstra Dome. The sun, of course, in the eyes of the players. And, of course, KB, the fans down on the boundaries, Wayne got hit in the head. You know, they were very caring for Wayne. Not. They're no warm welcome for Wayne Carey at the moment from the Saints. And the sun can be a problem at Telstra. Often we have the roof shut over the last 12 months or so. But today, a beautiful day in Melbourne. And the sun is shining and the roof is open. So it's the Saints by 20 points. Goal kickers, Baker, Koschitzky, Wolf and Milne. And for the Crows, just that single goal to Nigel Smart. Goodwin, tied up by Thompson. Been good in close. Chance for Lenny Hayes. Find the hand pass, back to Milne, stands and delivers. He's off target. And through for a behind 1-3 to Stephen Milne. He's a problem up forward. Yeah, he's certainly creating a few headaches. I think Lenny Hayes there, he was heading in the right direction. I'm not always confident when a handball goes back to a stationary target. Lenny Hayes was running towards goal. Might have been some pressure out there, but had the opportunity, I would have liked to have seen him have a shot on goal himself. So Hart's told to hurry up, so he just pounds the ball back. And the free kick is going to Smart because Boyle was shipping him. So Smart from defensive 50 to the wing and finds Burton. His third touch coming up. Stephen Powell leads the game with 8 possessions. Harvey's had 7. Rewalt 6 and ball 5 for the Saints. Towards half forward, Hudson, a well-timed fist, got it to ground. Clark taken in a ferocious tackle by Goodwin. And the umpire will call for a bounce. McLeod's had 4 touches for the Crows. 3 to Burton, Smart, Stenglein and Tawney.
the Saints by 21 points. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the opening term. Bigland's got the tap, and as far as Hayes. Went to ground. Baker in there working hard for St Kilda. John Cock all over him. We'll have another bounce. Milne comes to the bench, replaced by Troy Schwartz.
That's interesting because you've got Powell on the bench, who's their leading possession winner at the moment with 8. You've got Robert Harvey's just been taken from the field as well. He's got 7. And you've got Milne, who's the most dangerous forward on the ground at the moment. So St Kilda's got Harvey, Milne and Powell on the interchange bench.
Biglands gets it to Laddams. A flying shot at goal from Laddams. Misses to the near side. So maybe Grant Thomas just trying to conserve the energy in the warm conditions. Extend their quarter-time break as Rashudo comes off to be replaced by Bickley. So plenty of moves being made off the bench. Just shows how warm it is. Ozzie Jones's kick will have to come back because Fraser Gehrig was in the no-go zone as he kicked it. So Jones will set up and go again.
Each to their own, Jason, but I think when you've got players in good touch, I like to see them on the field. I think the adrenaline keeps running, and, you know, I don't think players probably need the rest that a lot of people think they do. We haven't even played 1/4 of football yet, and Powell's doing well, and Harvey, and also Milne. But Grant Thomas wants to conserve some energy.
Jones to Thompson to Rewalt. Hands it off to Hayes. He's got a man in open space in the centre of the ground. It's Baker. Already kicked 1 goal this afternoon, Stephen Baker. High kick inside 50. They'll contest 30 metres out. Hamill over the top. Interferes with his opponent. And the free kick will come back to Ben Hart. Had the jumper held. He dishes off to McLeod for his 5th touch. Just lopes away from defensive 50. Bickley lays the shepherd on Kazitsky as McLeod dishes to Edwards. To Mark Stevens. High kick inside 50. Goodwin and Carey there for Adelaide. Goodwin at the front. Good fist from Gehrig. Capuano gets it back to Gehrig. He flips a little handball over the top to the run of Lenny Hayes for his 5th touch. Just trots away from half-back. Shocking kick. Was touched off the boot. Went straight to Stevens. To Smart. Flips one over the top to Bickley. Bickley goes inboard to the run of Bassett. 70 metres out, inside 50. Beautiful kick. Just beyond the outstretched grasp of Capuano. And the mark taken by Goodwin, 45 metres out, directly in front.
Yeah, both sides are encouraging loose players to drop back and fill the hole, and I guess it just comes down to a matter of disposal and who uses the ball a little bit better. St Kilda all away, but it was a poor kick, found Mark Stevens. They were able to rebound, and Simon Goodwin, you would think, without putting the moz on him, kick a goal.
So Goodwin, 45 metres out. Kick on its way, as you can see. Tugged it to the right. And misses. Opportunity goes begging there for Simon Goodwin. Adelaide a 1-3-9. Trailing the Saints 4-4-28. There is some talent sitting on the bench at the moment for both sides as Jones goes to the dock side of the ground and finds Lenny Hayes at defensive 50.
Yes, because Stephen Milne's just a burst player on the forward line at the moment. You'd think he'd get plenty of rest.
Getting some work on his shins, KB. I'm not actually sure that he is part of a rotation. He might actually be just feeling the ground a little bit.
Shin soreness. John Cock on centre wing. Tried to find Burton, was caught high, and will take the free kick. So it's been a very interesting duel between Burton and Rewalt. They both had a fair bit of the ball. John Cock stands and delivers. Belts the ball back. Big pack of players. Edwards pounced on it. Does well, needs support. Stevens. Lenny Hayes just paddles the ball along in front. Don't argue. Hayes is the strongest. Just fended off 2 Crows players. Picked up that time by Ozzie Jones. Waiting back, building the wall is John Cock. To Burton. Edge of the centre square. Stevens is the target. Clark did fantastically well. Knocked the ball down, taken by Hudson. He's caught in 3 minds, not 2 minds. Didn't know where to go. Picked up that time by Gehrig. Thumps the ball back. Chance for Capuano. Second grab, got it. Also had a lot of injuries with St Kilda since coming across from the Kangaroos. This is his chance without Peter Everett to really put his stamp on the club. Clark, one of the most exciting young players in the game, backs himself in. McLeod chases hard. Picked up by Burke. Quick hands. Baker. Right to line. Rewalt. Couldn't take it. Hamill around the corner. Smothered off the boot. Rewalt. Tied up right on the line as the siren sounds. Terrific first quarter by the Saints. They lead 4-4-28. The Crows 1-3-9.
So it's the Saints by 19 points at the opening change. Had plenty of the football in that first term, and they'll go to the break full Oftus group.
Without a doubt, Jason, they've certainly come to play, and I think it's a timely reminder for the Adelaide Crows, and I'm sure that Gary Ayres will be getting that message across. That doesn't matter who you play and how badly that it's been suggested they've been going. At AFL level, on any given week, if a side turns up to play, they can knock you off. Look, when you consider the Adelaide Crows running midfield, Edwards, Goodwin, Rashudo and Laddams have totaled 6 possessions between the lot of them. Conversely, Powell's got 8, Harvey 7, as does Hayes and Riewoldt. And I think the interesting battle between Riewoldt and Burton, 7 possessions to Nick Riewoldt, 5 to Burton. But I just think the manner that Riewoldt has been able to set up St Kilda's attacking thrust, you'd certainly have to say he's won the battle so far, KB.
Yes, and they're going to Riewoldt on the wing because we know he's such a good mark. He's already taken 2, but he's contested very, very strongly. Thompson playing on Rashudo early in the game was a good move. Because he had 5 possessions to Rashudo. One, we saw Rashudo also on the bench. Harvey on McLeod, that's a great matchup. I think Gehrig's done very, very well on Wayne Carey. He's played very close, and he's actually matched the King when it's come to the strength department. And certainly when the ball's hit the ground, he's been very quick. 4 possessions to Gehrig, 2 to Carey as we had boundary side. Here's Mark Doran.
Thanks, Jason. Grant Thomas, good enough to let me listen in. I've listened into the Saints a few times. They've got more spirit than I've heard before. Grant Thomas, again, very positive, as he was, said the pressure at ground level, especially in the forward line, is why they lead at the moment. But beware, because this is often St Kilda's worst term. He made that very clear to his players that if they can win this term, they're in a very good position to go on with it.
Possessions in the first term, 79 to 45 in favour of St Kilda. And the telling stat, Wayne, handball receives 23 to 12. The Saints just running the ball much harder.
Yeah, there's a definite willingness from the St Kilda players to run, support, back in each other and show a lot of confidence.
Second term from the Telstra Dome. It's the Saints by 19 points. Clark up the tap, but Hayes picked it off, got it to Riewoldt. Intercepted by Riley. Inside 50 for Adelaide. Clark goes across the front of the contest and takes a very good mark. Xavier Clark. They break to the outer side for him, and the mark is taken by Thompson. To the run of Black on the overlap. To half forward, John Cock just worked ball under the footy. Coming out to attack it was Bassett. Slams it on the boot back towards the wing. Thompson almost dragged the mark, and then a good tackle laid on him. Play on's the call. Comes back to Black. Hamill goes short and finds Harvey on the logo. 8th touch for Robert Harvey. Spears the kick inside 50 to Riewoldt. Couldn't quite hang on. Goes to the support of Jones. They load up again, this time to Milne. He couldn't quite grab it either. Uses his pace to accelerate away from Stengline and then pull it back. Here comes John Cock. Crash. Did well, John Cock. Got to his feet and beat 2. Great play from Bassett to Smart. And they come away towards the wing, but only as far as Jones. Adelaide defence under pressure. Jones wants to move it quickly and finds Thompson. He'll set up 75 metres out from goal. Thompson, short pass is a good one. And third time lucky for the Saints inside 50. This time it hits a chest, and it is the chest of Aaron Hamill.
Yeah, look, they're just creating so many problems down in their forward line. They've got a good mix of a couple of strong leading forwards, as in Aaron Hamill, but also that little live wire, Stephen Milne's just giving Tyson Stengline the runaround at the moment.
They kept their heads well that time, the Saints. They went inside 50 twice. It didn't come off for them. They just set themselves up across half forward again and finally got reward, finding Aaron Hamill coming up for his 6th possession. Kick on its way. Looks straight. Has it got the legs to get there? It does. Great start to the second term for the Saints. Hamill's got his first. Just what they needed to maintain that momentum. And the lead now out to 25 points.
Yeah, they've been very impressive so far. There's a long way to go in the games, KB. But look, they got off to a good start last week and faded. They've got off to a good start today again. You've got to maintain the intensity. The thing I like about St Kilda at the moment is their willingness to work for each other. Whether they've got the ball or not, they're working extremely hard to support, run in numbers, and just creating so many problems for the Crows' defence at the moment.
Saints by 25 points. Aaron Hamill. First game for the season. He is certainly the focal point up forward. He's got great presence for St Kilda. And the Saints, at the moment, are first to the ball, winning the ball at ground level, and they're looking a bit too quick. Pow! Running with the fly of the ball, not paid. A bit too quick for the Crows. Smart on hands and knees. Was that a free kick? The ball, he's got it. They are desperate, St Kilda. They're running hard, putting their bodies on the line. They're running in numbers. Waves of St Kilda players coming down the ground. And they have completely shocked the Adelaide Crows here at Telstra Dome. They are off balance, the Crows. They may not have expected such an inspired St Kilda, who's turned up after kicking that opening goal from Stephen Milne just a few seconds into that first quarter. Here's ball. One of the young guns for the Saints. From right on 50. Beautiful kick. Super goal. Saints by 31 points. And they've thrown down the gauntlet to the Adelaide Crows.
It's not surprising the Saints were in front. They've gone inside 50, 17 to 12. There's not much of a difference there, but they've been far more efficient. They look as though they're going in there with purpose. The interesting statistic there, though, Jason, out of the centre square, the Saints have got 5 clean possessions out of 5 different ball-ups.
Makes a big difference. Adelaide are the #1 clearance side in the competition last season. St Kilda were ranked 15th. So it was always going to be an area that St Kilda needed to get on top of. And they certainly have done that, and it shows on the scoreboard. 31 points the margin. Capuano to go again out of the middle against Clark. Capuano stands across the line. Clark cannons into him and gives away the free kick.
And another centre clearance here.
Capuano to Powell. Powell spears it inside 50. Bassett goes back with the flight at ground level. Hamill and Milne. Milne goes to ground. Hamill keeps fighting on. He and Bassett take it to the line. And we'll have a throw-in about 35 metres out from St Kilda's goal. And it all starts in the centre for them, getting the ball forward. And again, disposals this quarter so far 19 to 7 in favour of St Kilda for an amazing match total of 98 to 52. Tawney tries to spin out of the Thompson tackle. Can't do so. Powell keeps it alive to the top of the square. One-on-one contest. Kazitsky there. Spills to Capuano. Couldn't quite get a handle on the football. McGregor taken in a tackle by Kazitsky. And we'll have a bounce 20 metres out from St Kilda's goal. Just puts Adelaide on the back foot, doesn't it? The game at the moment is being played inside St Kilda's forward 50. As we look at clearances, 10 to 4. St Kilda dominating. Bickley emerges through the congestion. Releases the handball to Smart. He weaves through the traffic. Stenglein got a shocking bounce. Danger here for Milne. Only needs half a chance. Gathers on forward 50. Takes Stenglein on by foot. From the boundary line, squares it to the goal square. Bassett read it well. Takes the mark and dishes off to Ben Hart.
Just ambles away from the back pocket, trying to set it up, goes wide. Finds Goodwin, the All-Australian. Beautiful kick. Finds Tyson Edwards on the stretch. Through the centre square to the half-forward line. He's looking for Perry. Got Hutchinson a beat. Tied up on the tackle. Does well, Edwards. Take 2 from outside 50. Looking for Carey. Forced onto the ball that time by Fraser Gehrig. He's playing Wayne Carey very well at the moment. And Rewalt again on the stretch. Couldn't take it over the line for a toss back in. Saints by 31 points. 6-4-40 plays 1-3-9. And that man on screen's had a good game so far. Nick Rewalt. He's had it 9 times. He's taken 2 marks. And we see Riley off and Risciuto on for the Crows. Rewalt, clever play. Just hacked it out of the air to centre wing. On the burst is Aussie Jones. Brings the St Kilda fans to their feet. Aussie on the charge, inside 50. In front, great grab, Koschitzky. Super grab. Now this young man kicked a goal in the first quarter. And Grant Thomas has been looking for this young man who is the rising star of 2001 to get fit, get him back into this St Kilda side. And what an option he will be up forward. Wearing the famous Stewie Lowe number, going for goal number 2, 55 metres out, leans back, unloads, great kick. Hammers it home. And the Saints by 37 points.
The reference made before the start of the game, Nick Rewalt, is it the heir apparent? The presence of mind before in that ruck contest down in the half-back flank, to know that he was under pressure, quick kick out of the pack, allowed Aussie Jones just to back himself in. That's a terrific mark from Koschitzky. Look, you'd think that St Kilda were the side that won the premiership competition. They're just playing with supreme confidence, backing each other in, and just enjoying their football this afternoon.
Wonderful performance from the Saints. They lead by 37 points, 8 minutes into the second term. And remarkably, they're doing it by playing Adelaide and beating them at their own game. Clearances and running the ball hard, possessing the football. That's Adelaide's go, but today it's been all St Kilda. Rashudo, just his second touch coming up. Handball to Tawney, smothered. Hayes, the Saints go forward again inside 50. Hamill crunched at the back. Milne runs for 15 metres out. There's another one. Milne's got 2 and the Saints are on fire. Robert Harvey comes to the bench to be replaced by Schwartz. And the trend just continues. St Kilda getting forward from the centre. Inside 50s this term 6-2. Disposals 29-16. And Stephen Milne's got 2 goals.
He's just creating all sorts of headaches, but get the runner out there and go straight to loop ball. That smother in the centre square set that goal up. That was fantastic play from a second game player.
Clearance is 16-7 now in favour of the Saints. Adelaide were the best clearance side in the competition last year. St Kilda were 15th. And there's another one through Powell. Only as far as Hart. To the outer side to Gallagher for his first touch. Ball sits up for him. He kicks towards half forward. Powell and Bickley will go at it. Bickley takes it but goes to ground. Hayes comes in to shut him down. And the umpire calls for a bounce.
In that best passage to play, Stephen Powell ran with Brett Burton towards the contest. Brett Burton took the opportunity to think that Mark Bickley would win the competition. He broke forward. Stephen Powell did the right thing, went to the contest. Just a contrasting difference of both sides at the moment.
Rewalt towards Moyle. Squeezed up on the boundary line. Burton couldn't take it. Ozzie Jones keen to take the ball over. Boundary throw-in, come off the boot. Burton goes short. Getting back is Moyle. Now, he can really play this boy, Brett Moyle. He's had a few injuries as well. But he's a raking left footer. Saints far too switched on for the Adelaide Crows. Running harder. They're desperate. They're enthusiastic. They've come to play. Saints alive. Rewalt was a target. Front of the pack. Tawney from half back. Just wobbles the kick forward and finds McLeod. It's been okay, hasn't been devastating, goes short, and Perry marks in front. See there, the Adelaide Crows, last goal, 32 minutes away. In Perry. And Grant Thomas working the phone. Well, being a left footer, he's on his preferred side. Part of the two-pronged attack with Carey and Perry from 48 metres. Right to the line, pack of players. Saints get a fist of the ball. Force it over for a behind.
There's a good example of the St Kilda ruckman getting down towards the goal square and making sure that if it did fall through or it did head towards the line and taper off, they punched it through for a behind.
Saints by 42 points. Ozzie Jones to bring the ball back. Finds Thompson. Been very slow today, the Crows, in picking up. They just haven't been awake to the fact that Saints have, particularly around the centre square, have moved the ball so quickly by hand and foot. Got in hard for the ball, particularly at the bounce. Coming off the centre wing. Good kick, finds Schwartz. Started on the bench from half back to the half-forward line. Here's danger now. Milne will try and lead him under the ball. Stenglein has had trouble with Milne today. The live wire this time. Good play by Stenglein. Just pushed him off. Bassett will share the ball with Goodwin. Finds Rashudo. Low par today. Thumps the ball back towards the half-forward line, and getting back is Penny. And he looks like he's been a pretty handy pickup. He's given the Saints a bit of size in defence. Ozzie Jones coming off a great season last year. Looks like he's back to his full confidence when he was All-Australian. And he was the star for the Saints. Here's Wolf. Couldn't take it. Make that Powell correction. Hard under pressure from Stenglein. Goes short. Finds Gallagher. He's coming to the side to replace Bowe to the half-forward line. Perry stands his ground. Good thump away that time by Max Hudson. Rewalt and Burton in the contest. Pounced on by McLeod. Danger looking for Carey. Free kick.
Didn't need to in the end, KB, did he? The ball was going to go over his head anyhow.
I suppose keen to make a contest, not wanting Carey to have an easy run to the ball. Fraser Gearich's been very good today. Forward line's working well for St Kilda. Got a good balance in their forward line with Hamill and Milne, Kashitsky and Wolf. And the back line has been very solid. Carey from a very tough angle. Across the face. And the St Kilda fans are ecstatic because it's out of bounds on the full.
Well, he had 45,000 people screaming for him last week. He's got quite a few thousand the opposite today.
Wayne Carey making the point there. The ball actually came off the player's hand and was hit into the behind post, which means it should be a throw-in. Boundary umpire didn't agree. Gehrig over the top to Aussie Jones. Creative run off half-back from Aussie. Just pulled off his kick. The mark taken by Burton. Goodwin to Bickley. From just outside 50, goes for an open goal square and hits the post. So behind the mark, Bickley, things just not quite going Adelaide's way at the moment. They trail by 41 points. They've gone 14 minutes in the second term. Midfield possession 78 to 48 in favour of St Kilda. That's the equivalent of having 3 additional midfielders in the game. And you've got 3 extra players running around. Makes it pretty hard to match them all up. Ball to Riewoldt. His 11th touch to Thompson for his 9th. Sells the dummy to Burton. High kick towards 50. Baker's going to have to go for St Kilda. Off his hands at ground level. Edwards wrapped up in a tackle by Moyle. Release the handball to Rasciuto. To Goodwin. To Burton for his 8th possession. Equal with Smart in the game for Adelaide. Squares it up to Johncock. And he dishes it off to Tyson Edwards. Back to Johncock, and they work it through the middle of the Telstra Dome. Straight up the middle looking for Perry. Hudgton got a fist to it. At ground level he won it as well, Max Hudgton. To Jones, to Black. They come away from defensive 50. Goes to the run of Xavier Clark. He puts it out in front of Barry Brooks. Takes the mark. Can go from 50. The big man towards the goal square. Hamill's there. He flies. Hamill couldn't quite take it. Kazitsky off the ground. Sockers towards the goal line. And Goodwin gets back to save the day for Adelaide. Dishes to Ben Hart. Around the wing. Looking for Edwards. Clark arrived late. Smart keeps it alive for Adelaide. They just lifted the tempo in the last couple of minutes. And Baker takes it to the line.
Xavier Clark's a very good player. Last year was one of their young players who really burst on the scene. Here's Riewoldt.
Hamill.
Hamill, I should say. It was very much like Ablett's mark, wasn't it, over Perth there, the way he's come back over the shoulders there of Bassett.
Did everything but bring it down. Riewoldt taps it down. Bickley to Burton. And the bounce to Johncock. To Bassett. And now the Crows go forward through Stenglein. Moyle runs him down from behind. He's under pressure. St Kilda 1%ers have been fantastic this afternoon. Bickley tries to work his way through traffic. Steps through the Thompson tackle. Gives it to Goodwin, who from 48 metres out goes for goal and kicks Adelaide second. Well, it took until the 16.5-minute mark of the second term, but the Crows have their second goal through Simon Goodwin with his 9th disposal as Clark comes off to be replaced by Rhett Biglands.
Simon Goodwin got himself into some space there, but look, it's a much-needed goal for Adelaide. The thing about Adelaide at the moment, they're getting beaten at their own game. When things aren't going according to plan, you can't persist with playing the same game plan. You've got to go to plan B. What that is, I'm not too sure. There's players out there that are normally very good deliveries of the ball. At the moment, they're not hitting their targets. So whilst they did register a goal, there's still a lot of work to be done by the Adelaide Crows.
I don't think, Wayne, there's been any easy kicks or any easy handballs for the Adelaide Crows. I think we've got to pat St Kilda on the back because we've seen their tackling. It's been ferocious. So is their chasing. I think they've really surprised the Crows with the amount of pressure they've been able to exert today. Here's Rasciuto. There's a typical example.
KB, so they haven't been able to get one clear disposal out of the middle.
And you can see there the ball magnets, the first 5 St Kilda players. Biglands got his hands on the ball, taken away by Thompson. Hamill to Harvey, wants a kind bounce. The champ will run to 40, closes to 35, can't bend it back. And I suppose if there has been a weakness in his game over the years, it has been that he hasn't really been a goal kicker.
KB, of those ball magnets, apart from Rewalt, they've all spent plenty of time on the bench. Grant Thomas very aware that his side might be underdone, and he does want to keep them fresh for the second half, particularly the last turn.
Well, Mark, Rewalt has taken a beauty. He's great overhead. Here's Moyle's left foot. He should kick a goal, 35 metres out, and nails it. Just squeezed it in, Brett Moyle. That came from that great grab by Rewalt on the stretch. And a great reply now. He's hurt himself a bit too, Rewalt, when he took that mark. Let's have a look at it. You see there he's landed very awkwardly.
You just see KB in that highlight. Brett Burton, his direct opponent, was running the opposite way. So, look, Rewalt's been on fire at the moment. I'd suggest if I was Gary Ayres, I'd get the message out to Brett Burton to man up on Nick Rewalt if he gets back on him.
What I liked about Rewalt then was that, and we said earlier that he'll start on the wing, but then they'll move him down forward, which is what they've done. But even though he hurt his ankle, he bounced to his feet straight away and got back. Wasn't sort of concerned about his own safety or his own injury at that particular point of time. And again, St. Kilda making it an Indian arm wrestle. Just over 7 minutes left in this second term. 59 plays 17. Lead by 42 points after leading by 19 points at quarter time. Schwartz tries his hand as a ruckman, taken by John Cock. Quick kick to 50. Black's been very good today. Gallagher got the bounce he wanted, didn't really hit a target in John Cock. Works his way back out of trouble to Perry under pressure again. St. Kilda fantastic. Baker puts the pressure on. St. Kilda going in very hard. They want holding the ball, they've got it. This is super play from the Saints. There's Hamill on the bottom of the pack. What a success story he's been since coming across from St. Kilda, from Carlton, and now the captain of the Saints. Hamill goes wide. Slack checking by the Crows. Schwartz has got it. Too far out to score. Rewalt on the lead. That's been ignored. Short. And Edwards read it well.
So Tyson Edwards, 7th touch coming up. Goes to Bassett. Switches play to the dock side of the ground. Rewalt sets himself. McGregor will fly from behind. At ground level, Hart tidies up. To Goodwin. To McGregor. Releases McLeod. Runs to 60 metres out. Neat pass. And on the lead finds Mark Stevens. It's not often in this game, Wayne, so far that they've been able to work the ball through the middle without that pressure.
They have, and that's the difference there. Andrew McLeod, he's got great skills. The delivery of the ball was perfect to Mark Stevens, not allowing the St. Kilda defender any opportunity there. Lace out centimetre perfect. And look, that's been the difference for Adelaide. They've been breaking down in that area, so hopefully it's the start of things to come for the Crows.
5th touch for Mark Stevens. 35 metres out from goal. Kick on its way. And he's got Adelaide's 3rd. So not a lot of excitement in the Adelaide camp, as you'd understand, with the scoreboard showing them 36 points down in a time on in the second term. Mark Rasciuto on the bench, just 4 possessions to him in this game so far, averaging 21 a game in 2002.
And where the Crows are normally very good, they get the ball long and direct into their forward targets. St. Kilda have done a terrific job just congesting up the Adelaide forward line.
So badly needed goal there to the Crows through Mark Stevens. Margin back to 36 points. In the middle of the ground, Brooks will go again. Against Biglands. Biglands got the tap, then followed up and won his own ball. Kick goes backwards, but there's 2 Crows to run onto it. McLeod just fumbled. Clark there puts his body in for St. Kilda. McGregor couldn't get an effective disposal. Harvey flips it over the top to Ozzie Jones. Draws 2 Adelaide players to him and gives it to Thompson. Tumbles one inside 50. Smart punches it away from Burke. John Cock at ground level. Dishes to Nigel Smart. Sweeping handball to Bickley. Adelaide starting to get some run in their game. Stenglein puts it out in front of Goodwin. And some of their prime movers starting to get some football. Goodwin inside 50. It's a one-on-one contest. Penny did well. Just worked Perry under the ball. Ian Perry just 3 touches for the game. St. Kilda around the Dockland side. Hudson, a man in space. It's Milne, 75 metres from goal. Goes inside 50 and hits his skipper on the chest. Hamill spots a man 25 metres out from goal. It's Xavier Clark. And they are queuing up inside forward 50 at the moment.
Yeah, good piece of play. Smart play from Xavier Clark. He's actually playing, his direct opponent is Tyson Edwards, who's actually meant to be slipping back in the defensive 50, playing loose man behind. But when your direct opponent comes down, presents himself in the forward line, it's a must, it's a necessity that you go and pick up that opponent.
So Clark's first shot at goal for season 2003 is a wobbly one. And he misses to the left-hand side.
He got too close to the man on the mark. He's a beautiful kick, Xavier Clark, and he just found himself getting too close, and he's just got to go back, settle himself, and make certain he gets the same sort of run-up he does when he's kicking the ball from around the ground, because he is a beautiful kick. 9-6-60 St. Kilda, and the Crows 3-5-23. They trail by 37 points. McLeod starting to win a bit of the ball inside 50. Some pushing and shoving, and doing it well was, that time was Jason Tawney. Who had a great game last week, 28 possessions, and this former Richmond player has really made his mark with the Crows so far this year. McLeod can be the danger man, starting to pick up some possessions now. That was possession number 9. Tawney from 40 metres out, directly in front, kicks a goal. So a miss it run in by Xavier Clark, and of course 2-goal turnaround.
Yeah, it's probably worthy of a 2-goal turnaround, KB. Just a fundamental mistake, a little bit close to the mark. Xavier Clark and the Adelaide Crows, as good a side as they are, and they have been struggling this afternoon, will certainly make you pay. But it's not surprising for mine to see the last 2 goals to Jason Tawney and Mark Stevens were courtesy of this man on screen. He's starting to get a bit more of the ball, and he gets going. Generally, Adelaide go as well.
Jason Tawney playing across half-back, and this year expected to play a midfield role also with the Crows. St. Kilda 9-6-60. They lead by 31 points, 4-5-29 the Crows. And we've played nearly 26 minutes into this second term. Edwards to Matner. Comes away from the edge of the centre square. Great grab! The Birdman! Burton over the top. Plays on, kicks a goal. And all of a sudden, the Crows have come alive. Here's such a great grab. Just injured himself a little bit on landing. But we've come to expect this from Brett Burton. This man has got springs in the legs. Up over the top of Wolf. Super mark.
Good mark. Had the Birdman all over it. He had the sit. But more importantly, Adelaide got a clear break out of the centre. They were able to manage to get their hands on the ball, and the importance of getting it out cleanly and quickly out of the centre square.
Wayne, the Bird might have a broken wing here. He's had to come straight off the ground. I think they'll get that boot off and have a look at that ankle. That's not good at all. The right angle, you can see him feeling. I think it was the contact when he hit the deck.
Did land awkwardly. And get some attention down on the boundary line. Brooks got the tap. McLeod. Now Adelaide starting to win the ball out of the middle. Powell tries to spin out of the tackle. Ball comes to Brooks. Been busy in the second term, Barry Brooks. Towards half forward, Adelaide got a man back. It's Goodwin. So Simon Goodwin with just over 2 minutes remaining. The Crows have clawed their way back to within 25 points. Big fly from Wolf. At ground level, Lenny Hayes. Twists and turns around the boundary line. Goes looking for Rewalt. Over the back of the contest, Goodwin sits and waits. Taken in a tackle by Clark. Just popped one across the top of the head. And will take a free kick.
Momentum has changed a little bit. The Adelaide Crows are just starting to generate a bit more run. With only a couple of minutes remaining, it's important that St. Kilda hang on and certainly don't allow Adelaide to score one more goal before the half-time break.
Margin got out to 43 points. 8.5 minutes into this term. It's now back to 25. As Wolf comes off to be replaced by Luke Ball. Bassett hands off to Bickley. Bickley goes towards half forward and finds Tawney, presenting himself up forward at the moment for the Crows. Chips it over the top. A man in space is Riley. And the Crows just steadily working their way back into this contest over the last 10 to 15 minutes. And they've got it back to a manageable 25 points. As I mentioned, it was at the 43, 8.5 minutes into this term. Here's Brent Riley. He's kicked 2 goals, 1 in his 3-game career. 48 metres out from goal. Kick on its way. It's going to go right to the line and hits the post. So Riley 2 behinds this afternoon. The margin back to 4 straight goals. Less than a minute remaining in this second term, with Aussie Jones again doing the kicking in duties. He goes short to Hudson and finds him in the back pocket. 6 touch for Max Hudson.
Brett Burton has not only got the right shoe off, they're now about to ice his right ankle, which could suggest the end of him for the match.
Hutchinson switches play to the outer side. Less congestion on that side of the ground. Jones to Black. One-on-one contest between Carey and Hamill. Bounce favoured Carey. Takes it to the line. And a throw in. 28 seconds remaining in the half. It's been a great one from St Kilda. There is Brett Burton and that troublesome right ankle. I'll get him in the rooms at half-time and assess it properly. One of the occupational hazards of being a high flyer, I guess. Bigland's got the tap. Edwards to Bickley. Gallagher couldn't quite break the Baker tackle. Powell tracks it back for the Saints. He's taken by Marty Matner. Turnover came to McLeod. Time for the Crows. They need a clean possession. Riley gets it to Bickley. Bickley will go inside 50. Adelaide need a mark. Stevens will attack this from the back. It spills to Hudson. And the danger passes for St Kilda as it comes out to Aussie Jones. And the siren sounds for half-time. And I'm sure if you had have offered any St Kilda fan a 4-goal lead at the main break before this game, they would have happily taken it. It got out to as much as 43 points, their lead, early in that second term, before Adelaide just steadied with a few late goals. But St Kilda still in the driver's seat at the main break. They're 9-6-60, Adelaide 5-6-36. As Brett Burton is carried to the rooms for the half-time break in that term. St Kilda adding 5 goals 2, Adelaide 4 goals 3. How bad's the Birdman injury? We'll find out at half-time. Mark Doran will be down there sniffing around to find out what he can, and we'll get back to you on that one. It is half-time. The Saints by 24 points. Comeback. Can the Saints steady in this third term? It's a handy 4-goal buffer. Guaranteed Gary Ayres will have revved his boys up at half-time, and they will come out and throw everything they've got at the Saints in this third term. There's the leading disposal getters on the ground in the first half of football. Aussie Jones and Stephen Powell has been outstanding. Jones very creative off half-back. Thompson working hard for the Saints, as has Lenny Hayes. Set to go in the third term at the Telstra Dome. St Kilda leading by 24 points. Biglands will go in the ruck against Capuano. Centre breaks 10-1 in favour of the Saints in the first half. Goodwin was taken high, and he will get the first effective disposal of the second half. So Simon Goodwin leading the game for Adelaide. His 13th possession coming up. Just assesses his options. St Kilda plays flooding back in numbers. Ball goes inside 50. Perry flies over the top of Riewoldt, but the man in front has paid the mark. And it is Nick Riewoldt. 13 possessions, 6 marks this afternoon. He dishes off to the run of Black. Kicks around the wing. Ball. Brilliant mark. Luke Ball and/or free kick against James Gallagher. 8th touch for Luke Ball in his second game of football this afternoon.
It's a terrific goal.
He is a brilliant talent. Huge raps through the under-18 system. We're starting to see why. Here's Riewoldt. Just racking up the touches now. This is number 14. Squares it up. Xavier Clark. Just backward of the centre circle. Considers going back to Riewoldt, then just pushes a bit further forward to Black. He's got to wait under it as Matner charged in, kept his eyes on the football and took the mark. Heath Black. 10th touch for him. He's 75 metres out from goal. Harvey offers the short lead to the forward 50. Kosicki breaks straight up the middle. A long lead from him is ignored. Decides to thump it long. They'll contest 25 metres out from goal. Smart got his hands on it for Adelaide. Won it at ground level. Managed to get it free, only as far as Powell. Intercepted by McLeod. Powell goes again for St Kilda. He's wrapped up by Goodwin. Ball still alive. Umpire calls play on. John Cock gets it forward. Adelaide try to break off half-back. Biglands got some space to work in now. It's Bickley. can go long. Carey inside the forward 50. Fell over at the important moment. Spills to the deck. 20 there. He's got Johncock over the top and just chips it across and finds him 30 metres out from goal.
Well, they've worked extremely hard for that, the Adelaide Crows. I think the message has come out from Gary Ayres at half-time. You go with your man, and as a result of that, all the Adelaide Crows players, apart from Wayne Carey, were in the defensive half of the ground. As a result, Mark Bickley certainly struggled for a while to find a target. Unfortunately, Wayne Carey couldn't take the mark, but Johncock has got the opportunity. Much needed goal for Adelaide.
He's kicked 15 goals, 8 in his 26-game AFL career. Graham Johncock played every game for Adelaide last season. From 35 metres out, kick on its way. Not too excited about it, and that's why he's pushed it across the face of goal for a behind.
9-6-60 the Saints. Adelaide Crows 5-7-37. So the Saints by 23 points. Harvey has worked pretty hard in that first half. Had the job on McLeod early in the game and taken by Powell. The ex-Bulldog, ex-Demon, looking for ball, and again ball, complaining that he was being held. And a shake of the head. Young man just playing his second game. And Risciuto, the skipper, still on the boundary line, waiting to come on for the Crows.
Just 4 touches, KB.
Yes, he has struggled today. A number of their stars just haven't been able to give the drive. But you can't take anything away from the Saints. They've been fantastic in this first half. They're led by 4 goals at half-time. 43 points during that second term. Here's McLeod, the danger man. Beautiful kick out in front. Pounced on by Perry. Trying to give Hutchton the slip. High ball, front of the square. Fraser Gehrig's been fantastic on Carey. Xavier Clark, silky skills, finds Lenny Hayes. A lot of the ball in the first quarter. Gets the go-ahead from Powell. On the burst and the charge, runs to the back edge of the centre square. Penetrating kick, Koschitzky's getting back. Couldn't take a one-hander. McGregor, Wolf dives on top of the ball. Koschitzky wants a free kick. And McGregor will get one. Much to the eye of the St Kilda fans. Hart, squeezed up. That last line of defence finds Goodwin. Came alive in that second term as well. So the Crows found himself under a lot of pressure today from St Kilda. Bassett. The run comes from Gallagher. Replaced Bowden, the selected side. McLeod, the danger man. The general pounces on it. Runs to 45. Is off target. And again, it's referred pressure because right from the opening bounce, St Kilda have chased and tackled the Crows. And Wayne, even when they're in the clear, they sense there's a St Kilda player.
And that's the most pleasing aspect of the St Kilda side's performance this afternoon. Not prepared just to give a Adelaide Crows player an easy kick. And it was another good result there. Andrew McLeod would normally slot those goals through, but due to the pressure, shows that he's human and slotted it behind.
Ozzie Jones, who I reckon is just about back to his best when he was All-Australian and, of course, played in the grand final for the Saints. And he was one of the most exhilarating players in the competition. Then went dormant for a couple of years. Not this man. Harvey in front. Hamill couldn't take on the second grab. Now, has he got a free kick? Because it wasn't a mark.
After they went to ground, KB.
So Bassett just having that decision explained to him. Harvey just popped it up in front. Let's have a close look. Over the shoulder. And we'll kick the goal in the second quarter. Has been their focal point up forward. He's had it 10 times. From just outside 50. Distance is there, not the accuracy. And through for a minor score.
First goal of the third term, increasingly important as time goes by, Wayne.
Yes, it is.
Wayne Carey coming off the ground to the Bronx cheers of the crowd. He'll sit down next to Brett Burton, who you can't quite see in that shot, but he just hobbled out on crutches, the ankle still being iced up.
Just the 3 touches to Wayne Carey this afternoon. Long kick out from Hart, clears the defensive 50. Hamill taken in a tackle. Got it to Lenny Hayes. Hayes goes looking for Koschitzky. Milne at the back, almost fell on his chest. Smart flips it over the top. Bassett run down by Milne, still got foot to ball. And Johncock happy to see it to the line as Gallagher comes off to be replaced by Risciuto. So Gary Ayres, a little disappointed with a couple of his senior players who just haven't performed this afternoon. And Bassett just managed to knee it onto his foot and get the kick away. There is Carey on the bench. Harvey and Edwards. The jump ball at ground level. Kick to the square, and there's Koschitzki. Well, he now gets the chance for the all-important first goal in this third term. He's kicked 2 goals in his first game back. And has looked really good. Make it 3. Important goal to the Saints. And the lead out to 29 points.
We've been saying it quite a few times during the course of the match so far. The pressure that St Kilda has applied to their opposition, especially in the forward 50, has been fantastic. And that goal there to Koschitzki is a direct result of the pressure that Stephen Milne was able to apply on Nathan Bassett, not allowing the Adelaide defence to get a clearing kick out of the forward 50. Ball up was a result and a great goal and a good start for St Kilda again in the third quarter.
What a bonus it's been for St Kilda today. Justin Koschitzki has kicked a goal in the first quarter, the second, and now the third. To bring a smile to the face of Grant Thomas. 67 plays, 38. Capuano in the ruck, taken away by Harvey, tackled by Biglands, crashed into the ground. Got a ball up. So Koschitzki in the goal square, with McGregor playing on him, and we see Brett Burton still on crutches after taking that great mark in the second term and kicking a goal. With hurting the ankle on landing. Chance for Baker to Jones. He'll get support from Clark. Clean hands, great touch. One grab player goes wide. Rewalt. He's been a big winner today. Powell's had it 16 times. Hayes had it 15. Rewalt's had it 14, along with Aussie Jones and Biglands on the stretch. Koschitzki's going to be a big talent for the Saints up forward. 6'6", strong mark, good kick. John Cock from centre half back goes wide, finds Stenglein. He's had his hands full today playing on Stephen Milne. He's kicked 2 goals, 3. Tawney, penetrating kick. Wolf from that last line of defence heads towards the boundary line. Rashudo has had a dark day, taken away by McGregor, was it? And he's off target for a behind. 10-7-67, plays 5-9-39. And the Saints led by 19 points at quarter time and 24 points at half time. And the 9-minute mark of the second term led by 43 points. Ball kick in. Well read by Laddams, who's a left footer. So this could be a big turnover. Young man started his career with the Bombers. Now trying to make his mark with the Crows. He'll be kicking from around about 40 metres. Fraser Gehrig on the mark. He's done a great job today. Wayne Carey's been taken from the field. Laddams leans back. A beautiful kick off the boot. He's hammered it home. And Aussie Jones will be rearing that poor kick in. Usually he's very good in that department. He is the designated kicker for the Saints. But Laddams read it well, chipped in. Let's have a look at Aussie Jones here. Just shielding his eyes from the sun. And Laddams marking in front of Fraser Gehrig.
It just highlights the importance, again, of being aware and making sure that when you're defending in a zone on an opposition team's kick-out, you pay attention. That's something Adelaide haven't done over the last couple of kick-ins.
So Chris Laddams gets his first goal. The margin back to 22 points. It's danger time now for the Saints, because if Adelaide can string together consecutive goals, they'll get some momentum and some belief. So the Saints have to be on their guard for the next couple of minutes. Skipper Aaron Hamill's come to the bench for a spell. He's been replaced by Heath Black. Good day at the office from Hamill so far. 12 possessions, 2 marks, and a goal. For he and Koschitzki have been firing up forward in their first games back. Been a huge bonus for Grant Thomas. A ruck infringement. It's going the way of the Crows. Rhett Biglands just looking to work their way back into the game. Tumbles a kick towards half forward. Baker got in front of Stevens, was collected late.
Oh, that's silly play to grab the opponent after your teammate's got the ball and he's taken a mark, because under those circumstances sometimes you lose the ball.
So the kick fell short. It was intended for Stevens. Baker stood his ground, and Stevens arrived late.
Yeah, it's a little bit undisciplined, but as Kevin said, you've got to be careful. If your team already has possessions, you can't afford to come in, give away a silly free kick and lose possession of the football.
KB, why wouldn't that be 50 metres?
50 metres?
50-metre penalty.
For wasting time?
No, just for contacting him late.
Well, that's for wasting time. That's where they pay 50 metres. If he's contacted late, it's because he, it's held him up and stopped his flow of play. So it could have been 50 metres, yep. But I thought the ball, they were lucky they didn't get the ball reversed.
Powell to Jones, to Luke Ball. Inside 50, Koschitzki's the target. Punched away by McGregor. At ground level, Matner taken in a fierce tackle by Black. Spills to Burke. Burke to Gehrig. Snaps for goal. He received some body contact. It was enough to push the kick wide. And Gehrig
just needed to balk that, I reckon, Wayne. He's on his left side, and if he had to just sort of feigned the kick, could have just come inside then and just popped it through.
Yeah, I've got no doubt he was a little bit hurried in his attempts there, but another great example of Heath Black laying a forward tackle.
Harvey off, Moyle on, and Moyle straight into the action. Will get a possession. Tries to get around Stevens. Gets it to Penny. Penny will thump it long. Koschitzki will fly from behind. Just worked hard under the ball. Umpire said play on. Bassett at the back of the contest. Milne comes to collect him. Dishes to Goodwin. Shepherd laid by Stenglein on Black. And they attack straight up the middle. Through Bickley. From defensive 50. Goes looking for Carey. At ground level. Capuano to beat. Capuano dives on top of the ball. Carey wraps him up. Umpire says holding the ball. No attempt from Matthew Capuano to slap it out. And Wayne Carey will get his fourth possession. Smack bang in the middle of Telstra Dome.
It's a telling sign, though, the desperation that Wayne Carey is out there trying to get a possession. He takes it up the centre of the footy ground.
Matner slung in his kick. Penny over the top to Rewalt. You just get the feeling the game's up for grabs in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Wolf tries to take on the tackle of Matner. Got enough of his jumper to register the kick ineffective. It's out of bounds on the full. The Crows will counter-attack. They've lifted the tempo. Smart not looking for Edwards, and Rewalt fisted it to the line. But the Crows are definitely gathering themselves for an assault here. The Saints have got to hang on.
Well, great play here by Rewalt, and Wolf there trying to get around Matner, who just held him up. But Rewalt then getting back. So it's a boundary throw in, taken away by Biglands. Huge frame. Just belts the ball back towards centre-half forward. Bad bounce. It was an ugly bounce for the Crows. Carey goes in hard. He's had his hands full today. To Perry around the corner. Can set it up. They can kick a goal. They can run to the open goal, and Riley should bang it through. He's hit the post. So the young man from the quarter under 18s has missed. So a wasted opportunity. 10-7-67 plays 6-10-46. Saints by 21 points. Moyle from half-back. Now the Saints on the rebound. Rewalt is loose on centre wing. Thompson spotted him. Just couldn't get back from the man on the mark fast enough. Thompson, 12 possessions today. Started the game on Risciuto, who was benched early in that first quarter. Aussie Jones, the general now from half-back, takes him on, backs himself in. That's the Aussie Jones of old on the charge. It was a poor handball. Aussie, second effort, couldn't take it. Taken by Biglands. Backtracks, retreats, conceded ground. Capuano's pulled off the ball. Risciuto is caught by ball, but the free kick has to come back to the Crows. It was a good tackle by Bickley, the veteran. Kicks the ball to the half-forward line. Getting back is Fraser. Gehrig does well, stands his ground. Defence has been good today, Wayne. I like Luke Penny today. He's taken 6 marks as well.
It's been terrific, KB.
Aussie Jones, can he set it up? Chip kick. Finds Penny. Mark number 7 goes wide, looking for the veteran. In Burke. Smart. Puts it over the line for a toss back in. Just under 8 minutes left in this third term. Wayne Carey on the bench, along with Matthew Clark. See there, still 26 more possessions in kicks to the Saints, who got in hard. There's an urgency about St. Kilda, taken by Riley, intercepted. Great play by Lenny Hayes. Bursts out of the pack. Koschitzki's going to be the target. Rewalt couldn't take it. Chance for Edwards. He'll share the ball with McGregor, so the Crows under pressure in that last line of defence. Hammer the ball out wide, finds Biglands, sets it up. They need some run from half back. Can they get it from Bickley to the half-forward line? Standing in front from behind. Max Hudson outmarks Perry. The gun forwards today have really struggled for the Crows. Full marks to the Saints defence. That man in particular, Fraser Geary, to Xavier Clark, who's been outstanding across half-back. Now the umpire paid the mark. So Clark will come back.
Stats have evened up this quarter, KB. St Kilda had a lot more of the football in the first 2 quarters. Adelaide have matched them in this third.
And Fraser Geary's coming off. And Hamill was on the boundary line, but he was waved back on. And now he'll take the short pass.
It's a set play, KB.
Towering kick inside 50. Rewald and Koschitzki are going to be the targets. Biglands claimed the mark. Risciuto just sharing the ball around, finds Tyson Edwards. So the defence of the Crows under pressure. Just over 6.5 minutes left in this third term. And the Saints haven't cracked yet.
So John Cock from half-back goes looking for and finding Perry. Dishes off to the runner, Risciuto. He's under pressure, so is Riley. Ball now in dispute. Hayes to Clark and flip it over the top, and the Saints can counter-attack through the middle. Here's Ozzie Jones, goes for a run, spears the pass. Stenglein read the lead from Koschitzki well and came across and cut it off. It's turning into an arm wrestle. Edwards. Rewald will go back with a flight. Biglands kept his eye on it. Also held his feet. Clark put the body in to Rewald. Numbers now with the Saints. He looks up inside 50. Hasn't got a lot on, so he'll kick long. Milne will fly. Koschitzki will come from the side. Hart, 2 up and none down for Adelaide. Keeps the ball alive for the Saints. Burke and Hamill. And it's a wrestle for a ball up.
It's a real wrestle at the moment. Now's the time St Kilda have worked tremendously hard to be in this position. They need to stand up now, weather the storm, get the 3/4 time and go from there.
The next goal is so vital in this game. St Kilda get it, the margin's back out to 27 points. Adelaide get it, it's into 15 points, and it's a real contest.
I reckon sometimes, Wayne, that like we just saw then with Rewald, kick the ball over the pack into the open space, because you've got Milne there, who's one of the most dangerous small men in the game, who loves the run under the ball.
Goodwin is going to be taken by Hayes, was just high. The arm just slipped up over the shoulder, and Adelaide will dodge a bullet. St Kilda fans don't like it, but it was there. And the free kick will go back.
That next goal you talked about, Jason, it's not going to come easy. From ground level, the intensity of this match has just gone up 5 levels.
Goodwin, long kick outside defensive 50. Clark in best position. Rewald a well-timed fist. And the ball goes out of bounds.
Just been fantastic today, St Kilda, and I've been praising them most of the afternoon, but the simple things, the tackles, the chases, the spoils, the pressure, the disciplined things that you need to use as a basis as your team structure have been wonderful with the Saints this afternoon.
Adelaide have evened up the stat sheet in this third term, and you can see that from the, I guess, the lack of clear breaks. St Kilda in the first half were bursting away from the stoppages. Adelaide have managed to shut that down in the third term. Had just about as much of the ball as St Kilda. Rewalt taps it into the path of Black, and the ball goes out of bounds. Again, another stalemate. We haven't seen many in this game. It was free-flowing in the first half. But this third term has tightened right up as Perry comes off to be replaced by Biglands. Both sides maybe just looking to a piece of individual brilliance to crack this stalemate. Hamill, the third man up, to try and create something for the Saints. Goodwin stands tall. Been amongst Adelaide's best all afternoon. His 18th touch. Long kick to half forward. Penny got it to ground. Stevens later hit on Jones. Clark, a brilliant tap on the Rewalt. He'll thump it long. 25 out from goal. Koschitzki with Milne at his feet. Hamill there as well for the Saints. And again they pile in. And Adelaide hang on as Burke comes off to be replaced by Robert Harvey.
Xavier Clark has been fantastic. Just his presence of mind. He's made some great spoils just at the last moment. That piece of play there to know didn't have a chance to grab the ball, tap it onto his teammates' advantage was wonderful play from a young player.
Chance for the Saints, just 20 metres out from goal. Hamill gets that, gets a goal.
And that was the piece of individual brilliance we were talking about, Wayne.
Yeah, well, he just does so much bulletin work, Aaron Hamill. Doesn't get up there and take the spectacular marks all the time, but when the ball's on the ground, he's just as dangerous as this highlight shows. Grabbed it out of the ruck, great play. Poor pressure from his direct opponent, and looking at the Adelaide Crows players, the hands are on the knees, their heads are down, they look a beaten side at the moment.
27 points. Now, Mark, they've made a change on the bench.
There is. Kosicki has come off looking pretty tired. He's done well, I think, the last 3 quarters at this stage.
I just thought the last couple of times it's gone down to their forward line, Mark, that he's been behind McGregor, hasn't really been able to work his way to the front. So he just might be feeling a little bit tired. The young man has played little football. As we see, it takes 3 Crows to bring down Riewoldt.
KB, that's typical of what the Crows will be thinking. The Kangaroos last week knew and said afterwards at 3/4 time they knew they'd be over to run the Saints. I think the Crows would be thinking the same thing. So this last 3 minutes, absolutely crucial.
Nick Riewoldt, the face of St Kilda, has had a big game. He's had it 18 times. And it's a ball up, still inside the centre square.
It's okay to think that you run over a side at 3/4 time, but if they keep piling on the goals, it doesn't matter what you do, because in the end, the margin's too big.
Good point.
Riewoldt's gone back to the goal square. Brooks, young man from King Island, taking his turn in the ruck. Harvey the tackler, smart the Bullocker, and dumped. Miles was smart. Just one of the 3 Adelaide Crows players that played 250 games. Mark Bickley, smart, and hard. McLeod, quiet day by his standards. Moyle, handy player on the improve. Taken away by Gallagher. Finds Bassett, kicks a high ball back to centre half forward. Penny's been good today, so it's Fraser Gehrig in defence. Risciuto has to lift his game. Bouncing ball. Chance for the Crows. Biglands can't control it. Cross back in.
KB, you mentioned the effect of Andrew McLeod. He's had 14 possessions. He had 5 inside 50s in the first half, which is where he's most dangerous. Just 1 in the third term.
Well, all their big guns have really struggled today. They haven't really had a clear winner over St Kilda. And up forward, you know, Perry, Carey, Stevens, just 1 goal between the 3. Here's Baker. Had it and lost it. But the Crows today, I don't think, could really say they've got 1 player who's beaten their opponent.
No, they haven't. And just on that point, Wayne Carey, I spoke with him early in the week. He said the biggest difficulty he's having playing with Adelaide is when they're going to kick it or if they're going to run and carry the ball and take a bounce.
Clark couldn't beat the tackle that time of Harvey. It's a loose ball. And Harvey will take the free kick. On the ball. St Kilda quick to keep that ball moving. Here's Wolf. From half-back, chips it in, looking for Hamill. Got that real presence at centre-half forward, coming through Harbour's ball. He'll take the free kick. He's already kicked 1 great goal. Also took a great mark on centre wing. He's got talent. To 50. Milne looks dangerous at the back. The carry. Milne has pounced on it. The man with the dancing feet. It's bouncing through! What a goal for St Kilda! Right on 3/4 time. That could be the telling goal line.
Well, look, I mean, what more can you say about Stephen Milne? But I've mentioned it in this 3rd quarter, the fact that the St Kilda players are prepared to, when they have to do the discipline thing, they do that, what's required for the team to do well. In that example, what I mean was Aaron Hamill's decision to punch when he was behind in a marking contest, created the opportunity for Luke Ball, got it forward to Stephen Milne. And this kid, what else is there that he can't do?
Well, I heard Stephen Milne say during the week he has between 80 and 100 shots at goal every training session. I'm not sure how many of those he practices, but St Kilda's motto a year or 2 ago is expect the unexpected, and that pretty much sums up Stephen Milne. St Kilda in the driver's seat. They lead by 33 points late in the 3rd term. Black ducks under the smart arm. Ball to Baker, to Harvey. Saints have believed in themselves since their great start. They had a goal on the board in the first 20 seconds of this game. Wolf steps inside Edwards. Time for 1 more. Hamill. Bassett did well to work his way to the front of that contest. Goodwin, been Adelaide's best. Bassett to Matner. To John Cock in defensive 50. Works it to Gallagher. Goes looking for Stevens. Again, Penny right with him. Got it to ground. Wolf taken in a tackle by McGregor. Moyle. Was he legged? Play on's the call. Penny's got it for the Saints. Goes to Harvey. Needs to get it in quickly with 8 seconds left on the clock. Need a kick inside the 50. Schwartz tried to take on Matner. Matner did well.
It was held. Free kick.
Time will expire.
Schwartz, I think, will get a free kick.
So Schwartz,
might as well kick
70 metres from goal, is going to load up and go to the square. Not going to get there. And it is 3/4 time. St Kilda withstanding the storm, adding 3 goals to 1 in that third term, and they lead at the final change by 33 points. Football, they can stand tall to Adelaide. They've got another half an hour.
Yes, I suppose that's always been the lingering doubts about St Kilda. They've found themselves in a winning position a number of times last year, and even in the first game of the year. But I think that third quarter was so important for their confidence to come out. They did lead by 43 points during the second term. It was whittled back to 24. And if they were going to crack, you would have thought it would have been in that third term. They lead by 33 points. You would think that they could hang on. If they could kick an early goal, then I think that the confidence would be so high that the Crows wouldn't be able to peg them back. Mark Doran joins us.
KB, yeah, the confidence was high inside the St Kilda huddle. Grant Thomas's message was that 2 out of 3, or 3 out of 4 is not good enough. We must win the last quarter. We win the game. Simple as that. That was his message. Contested ball is what St Kilda have to win, and Kosicki had a lot of work done on his hamstrings inside the huddle.
Final term, it's the Saints by 33 points. Capuano and Clark. Clark got the tap out. Tawney tries to get hands on it. Bickley does. Only as far as Harvey. Good one taken high. Umpire comes in and says, my ball. Secondary bounce.
Adelaide starting with Perry and Wayne Carey on the bench. And interestingly, they've got Rhett Bigwins, not a noted forward-line player, with Mark Rasciuto both coming out of the goal square.
Just trying to mix it up and get something inside 50 working for themselves. Clark got it down to McLeod. He's the danger man. Inside 50. Clark. Towards the wing. To 2-on-1 in favour of the Saints. Burke has got John Cock to beat, and Wolf in support. He can go over the top to Hamill. They worked it well. Hamill to 65 metres out. Squares it up. Here comes Gehrig over the top of the contest. Still alive at ground level. Milne's kick 3. If he can gather it, he can't. Laddams picks it off and goes long to the outer side. Stenglein needs to mark it. He's got 2 to beat. Numbers will win out for the Saints. Baker taken high. Advantage paid. Rewalt inside 50. Bassett, the third man up, fists it to the line for a throw in. And Wayne, interesting point you made about Wayne Carey, just not feeling confident at the moment, doesn't understand whether the ball's coming long or short from his teammates. He's dominated the Saints in recent games, 24 possessions and 12 marks he's average against them. Today, just the 5 touches.
Well, he's come from the Kangaroos, who are a very direct football club. Adelaide, high possession side, so there's a time for adjustment with Wayne, and hopefully that happens this afternoon.
Edwards through the middle of the ground to Tawney. Adelaide need a goal. A 2-on-1 contest. Rasciuto stayed down. Snaps at goal from 35, the skipper. And his ordinary day continues. Mark Rasciuto misses just his 10th possession, averaging 21 a game in 2002.
Just on that Carey factor, Jace, inside the St Kilda huddle, I could almost hear Gary Ayres. He was giving it to his players that much. Looked over Wayne, and Wayne Carey was just hanging out the back with his arms folded. Didn't look overly interested. I'm sure that wasn't the case, but did you notice his body language?
Just a bit flat.
Well, of course, Adelaide have never lost to St Kilda at Telstra Dome, and the last time they met here, the Crows won by 97 points.
They've won just 8 of 38 here, KB, St Kilda, so their record at this venue is pretty ordinary.
Robert Harvey on screen. 17 possessions today for the champ. 12-7-79 the Saints. The Crows 6-11-47. Caught high. Laddams will take the free. From centre wing to the half-forward line. Stevens is going to be the target. Penny's been very good for the Saints today. McLeod been a bit quiet. Chance for Tawney. 35 metres out. Can he swing it back? Great snap. He's kicked a goal. Two goals to Jason Tawney. Kicked a goal in the second quarter as well. Is this going to be the start of a Crows comeback, Wayne?
Well, from the Adelaide supporters' point of view, you'd certainly like to think so, but a little bit unlucky there a couple of times. Xavier Clark couldn't get to Andrew McLeod and close his space down quick enough. And Andrew McLeod, as good a player he is, found support in Jason Tawney, and a good goal and a much-needed one for Adelaide.
It's all about consecutive goals for the Crows. They haven't been able to put 2 together on the trot since late in the second term. They need to just get on a bit of a roll here. Clark, clever tap to McLeod. His kick, again through pressure, only as far as Schwartz. He goes to Harvey. 18th touch for the dual Brownlow medalist. Went to the voice of Hayes. Hayes can run to 55. Searching kick to the top of the goal square. Hamill goes back with a flight. Couldn't quite take it on his chest. Burke at ground level. Still alive. Gallagher tidies up for Adelaide. Goes to Johncock. And he goes out wide and finds Stenglein. Was taken high in that marking contest. And will get the free kick. 13th touch for Tyson Stenglein. Around the wing. Finds Laddams. Plays on quickly. To half forward. Tawney's got to go from the back. Stevens was just out of that contest. Penny had the front spot. Won the free kick. As Clark switches it wide to Gehrig. Raking left foot to half forward. Hamill working hard again. 15 possessions, 3 marks to Aaron Hamill. He can go over the top to Max Hutchison. Doesn't kick a lot of goals. Maxie from 25 metres out. Slots that one. Go to the Saints. Max Hutchison kicks just the 11th goal of his 121-game career. And Wayne Schwassy certainly enjoyed it.
Well, he did, and he had every right to, and I just think that that's a sign of the confidence that St Kilda are now carrying with them. The full-back doesn't get the opportunity very often, ran down and kicked a very telling goal. But Adelaide have been breaking down around the half-forward line. Their players seem to be running into each other's space. St Kilda have done extremely well to rebound it, and they've just got loose players running forward of the ball.
Saints by 32 points. Good hard running from Max Hutchison. And they've run far too hard today for the Adelaide Crows. I'd like to say they've been a bit flat, but that would be taking something away from the urgency and just the enthusiasm of St Kilda today. And a good defence backed up by a good forward line and strong tackling midfield. Clark fired out the hand pass, couldn't find Stevens. Haven't hit too many targets today. Loose ball taken away by Harvey. The Saints have won a lot of one-on-one contests. They've got numbers to the ball. And that was shoveled over the line. So a free kick will go to Stevens. Goes short. Coming across, take the mark is Gallagher, who came into the side to replace Bode. So he's just outside of 50. 85 plays 53. Just under 16 minutes left in this last quarter. This will be a boil over. Not too many people expected the Saints today to threaten the Crows. Edwards chips in and takes a chest mark. Tyson Edwards. 13 possessions today. Goodwin with 19, McLeod with 19. The leading possession winners, but they haven't really cut up St Kilda today. Important kick for the Crows. Edwards on a 45-degree angle. He's nailed it. Crows still alive. So Tyson Edwards with a very good kick. Just keeps them in touch. Brings it back to 26 points. And still plenty of time for Adelaide.
Well, they just haven't been able to manufacture any fluency. Jason mentioned earlier on, they haven't been able to get consecutive goals going during the course of the game. Just on that, Tyson Edwards kicked the goal. There was only 2 players that went over and gave him a pat on the back. That sends a message to me that, you know, maybe I just don't think there's enough enthusiasm out there for the Crows at the moment.
Tyson Edwards' goal brings it back to 26 points. Adelaide need a couple in a hurry to get excited. Capuano jumps into Clark. Here's Edwards at ground level. Here's a chance through Johncock to Tawney. He thumps it long. They'll contest at the top of the goal square. Bigland's kept his feet. Goes to the back, off the chest of Thompson, and through for a rush behind. It's been hard yards inside forward 50 for Adelaide today. Perry, 7 possessions, 2 marks. Mark Stevens, 6 possessions, 2 marks. And Wayne Carey, 5 possessions, no marks. So to just have four marks between those 3 key forwards indicates how difficult scoring has been for the Adelaide Crows. Just 8 goals for the afternoon. Aussie Jones goes looking for Hamill. Kick cleared him. Wolf tries to keep it in, can't do so. We'll have a throw in.
And on the other side of the ledger, Jason, it's been such an even performance from the St Kilda side. There's 13 players that have now amassed more than double-figure possessions.
Austin Jones with 20. Harvey Hayes Rewalt with 19. Powell's had 17. Hamill 15. Throw in. Plenty of players around this one. Bassett flicks it to the front. Here's Edwards. Around his body. McLeod tried to force Harvey off the football. Harvey took it with him. And another throw in as Bassett comes to the bench to be replaced by Perry. And Wolf comes off. Stephen Powell back into the game for the Saints. Hamill from the ruck contest to Moyle. He's taken in a tackle by Laddams. Ball still alive. Laddams at ground level. Hamill shunts Edwards out of the way. Comes to Harvey. Tumbles a kick towards the wing. Powell got a bad bounce. Spills to Bickley at the back. Burke comes from behind to take in. Bickley got the kick away. Again, Penny has just managed to work Stevens under the ball. We've seen that numerous times this afternoon. Playing a great game, Luke Penny. And the kick found a target. It was Black. The Saints are up and running. Kick towards full forward. 30 metres out from the St Kilda goal at ground level. Burke tried to swoop on it. John Cock collected it for Adelaide. Here's the danger man, Milne, from the boundary line. Twinkle toes, steps inside Matner, sets up a goal by handballing it over the top to Burke, and he hits the post. Almost from the identical position that Daniel Wolf did last year in the draw against the Swans. Nathan Burke from 3 metres out thunders it into the woodwork.
Thanks for reminding us there, Jace. But Nathan Burke, that was a terrific piece of play. Unlucky not to be rewarded with a goal. He laid a tackle on Mark Bickley, half-back flank, and laid another tackle in the forward line there. And could have been rewarded with a much appreciated goal.
Wayne Carey back on for the Crows.
Hart to McLeod and finds Tawney as they attack around the outer side.
And Luke Penny's going to pick up the king. Here's a chance for Stenglein. Inside 50, Rashudo's the target. Couldn't take it on the stretch. Hamill works hard. Got Hutchison in support. Capuano retreated. Finally gives across to Black. Just tumbles the ball forward. Chance for Ozzie Jones to run with the ball. Backs himself in. He's always confident when he likes to run. Take him on. Right to 50. Punched away. Couldn't take the ball this time. Here's McLeod. They were looking for Stephen Powell, who's just come onto the ground for the Saints. Gallagher. Inside 50. Tries to spot it up. He's looking for Laddams. It was a poor option. And punched back over the line for a toss back in. 13-8, 86 St Kilda. The Crows 8-12-60. They trail by 26 points. Just over 12.5 minutes left. Xavier Clark on screen. One of the young guns for the Saints, standing up today against the might of the Crows. Star-studded lineup, but they have struggled. Key forwards haven't been able to get into the game. Midfield players haven't really been able to exert a great influence. And the St Kilda forward line has worked very, very well.
Adelaide are noted for their physical attack on the ball, but St Kilda have certainly beaten them in that department today. They've also been extremely good at accepting the tackle, keeping the hands free and freeing up a teammate.
Chance for Ozzie Jones. Ball came from Goodwin. Goes wide, a great kick. Without breaking stride is Max Hudson. The confidence is high in the St Kilda side. It's gone! He actually beat his opponent. It was great chasing by Biglands, but then he stepped back into his line. Hard on the rebound. Can they set it up? Harvey read it well, the general, under pressure. Two wise heads combined. Burke, now a young gun. Xavier Clark rockets the ball forward to Baker, under pressure to Harvey. Makes the numbers inside the centre square, inside 50. Rewalt! What a grab! The young and an old. Harvey to Rewalt. Burke was involved as well back in the centre square. So was Xavier Clark. So we saw the best of the veterans and the best of the young guns. They lead by 25 points. Make that 26 points, St Kilda. And Nick Rewalt, a chance to get these St Kilda fans absolutely roaring at Telstra Dome. The roar will tell the story. 45 metres out, Rewalt can't bend it back. Through from behind. 27 points, the Saints.
Well, the St Kilda coach's box painted blue today as part of a sponsorship promotion, but not feeling too blue in there at the moment. 27 points their lead. They've done very, very well all afternoon. Edwards towards half forward. Hodgson got a hand on it and brought it to ground. Smart. Hodgson goes again, a second effort. Ozzie Jones cleaning up as he has so often this afternoon. 23rd and now 24th possession of Ozzie. Around the wing looking for Rewalt. There's too much on the kick, but it finds the line. Jones leads the game with 24 touches. Harvey's had 22. Rewalt 20 with 8 marks. Hayes 19, Hamill 18. In a very balanced, even performance from the Saints today. The youngsters have stepped up. The senior players have led the way. And St Kilda fans enjoying it. Why not? They haven't won a game for 250 days since their last premiership win. It was in round 17 last year against the Dockers. Here's Hart. Gives it to John Cock. Goes to full forward. Risciuto tries to work Thompson under the ball and does so successfully. Takes the mark 15 metres out directly in front as Wayne Carey again makes his way to the bench.
He's looked very rusty today, Wayne, and of course missing all of last season. Came into the Wizard Cup and last week, booted 4 goals last week. But it gives you the impression, Wayne, that the game last week's taken a bit out of him.
Yes, I think you're right, Kate.
I don't take anything away from Fraser Gehrig and Penny, but he has looked very slow today.
Does, and I also think a contributing factor has been the delivery into the forward line too. Adelaide have been a bit off the boil in their delivery, and it certainly makes the job hard for a forward.
As Risciuto converts, he gets his first for the afternoon. So the Crows get one back. They're ninth. They're 9-12-66. The margin back to 21 points. We've gone 15 minutes. This game isn't over.
No, exactly right, Jason. I'd hope from the St Kilda's point of view that they don't play to save the game. It's a very dangerous thing to do, especially against a side like Adelaide. Whilst they've been down all day, they have enough stars in their team to turn things on within a very short period of time. It's not out of the equation for them to kick 3 or 4 quick goals.
Risciuto's goal reduces the margin to 21 points at the 15.5-minute mark. Still time for the Crows. The Saints just need to get the next one.
As Clark comes charging in. Very good at getting his hands on the ball. Chance for Bickley. Can their older players, the veterans, lift? John Cock goes to the ground. Capuano was good in the contest. Take 2 by John Cock. Couldn't take it second time. Clark over the ball, just paddling the ball out. Tawny's over the top as well. John Cock again, a second effort.
Carey and Mark Stevens on the bench for the Crows. You can see them there warming down. That might have been a chance to happen this late in the last term as we went into the game, because a lot of people thought the Crows would be winning by that much.
It's a good point, Mark. And of course, the big guns up forward were expected to kick goals, but only one through Perry, Carey on the forward line, and Stevens. So the Saints maybe under a little bit of pressure. Under 9 minutes left. They lead by 21 points. Another goal to the Crows. And we wonder if the self-doubts will come into it for St Kilda. So free kick to the Crows at centre-half back. Nigel Smart goes wide. The run comes from Hart. So danger here for St Kilda. Inside 50. Risciuto getting back. Couldn't get there. Good play by Clark. Forces the ball over the line for a boundary thrown, but it's just 40 metres around from Adelaide's goal. So we see there's Swars just with the ball. Hasn't made any attempt whatsoever to knock that ball out of the contest. So it's a boundary throw in. Clark against Capuano. Goodwin, wild handball. Pounced on by Xavier Clark. Loose player is Fraser Gehrig. Marks at half back. 13-9-87 the Saints. The Crows 9-12-66. Saints by 21 points as Hamill marks at half-back. They led by 19 points at quarter-time, 24 points at half-time, and 33 points at three-quarter-time, the Saints. The margin now is 21. Ozzie Jones, short, finds Powell. Leads on from Harvey. That's been ignored. Goes for the longer option. It's Riewoldt. Couldn't take it quite on the second grab. Good defensive play by Hart.
Messages come out, Wayne, for St Kilda to shut this game down.
Yeah, I still think there's enough time. I think you've got to be very careful. If you play possession football, sometimes that can get unstuck. They've played their football today like Adelaide normally does. Look, you've done well. Why change the game now? Continue playing the merry way. When it gets down the last couple of minutes, perhaps you start thinking more so about shutting the game down.
Here's a chance. This is what can happen on the counter-attack. McLeod will come away. It's a wide-open forward line. Risciuto the target. Great fist from Hudson. And then he goes and lays a tackle. Still numbers there for Adelaide. Gallagher to Edwards. McLeod can get it and go. He can load it up from 55. Just chips it over the top. Stenglein can trot in and kick a goal. He has. It's 15 points the difference at the Telstra Dome.
got to make certain for St Kilda that they don't get self-doubts now, Wayne. They've been in front up to 43 points in this game. It's now back to 15. There's still plenty of time for Adelaide to win the game. But St Kilda's got to have faith in themselves.
Yes, that's right, KB. And I've just noticed in the last 5 or 6 minutes, Adelaide's starting to generate a lot more run from the defensive half. That's where they get a lot of their attacking thrust. St Kilda need to play the same way and certainly get the next goal on the board.
The Crows now just trail by 15 points. 13-9-87 to 10-12-72. As Clark comes charging in. Taken away this time by Powell. Wild handball. Finds Burke. Does well. Gets his boot to the ball. Chance now for Swartz. Caught up in the tackle. Loose ball. Comes to Powell. Rockets the ball towards Harvey. Under pressure from John Cock. Perry comes away from half back. Some danger signs now for St Kilda. Tyson Edwards goes to ground. Quick to recover. Here's a chance for Latham. Drops the ball in. Risciuto! All of a sudden, the Crows can sense maybe victory for the first time today. The box working overtime. Grant Thomas, Matt Rendell, the St Kilda Brain Trust. And Lathams with his beautiful left foot in front. And Risciuto is usually a very reliable kick.
Makes a difference when the Crows players have space and time to look up, spot a target and use delivery by hand or foot in a normally good fashion, as they normally do.
He's kicked 1-1. No scoring shots coming in this final quarter. Risciuto. There's a great camera shot. From 35 metres out, Mark Risciuto kicks a goal. They're within 9 points.
Well, it would seem an injustice. St Kilda have been terrific all day. It would seem an injustice if they lose this game, but against quality opposition, it's not over until the final siren. What I'd suggest now, maybe Grant Thomas might consider. He's worried about Adelaide overrunning. Get numbers from the forward line to push up a couple of lines and clog up the centre-half forward line for the Adelaide Crows.
Two men, they've got a man up. Tyson Edwards and Andrew McLeod. They've both had 9 possessions in this final term. McLeod with 9 possessions in the final quarter. 3 of those going inside 50, which is where he's at his most dangerous. He and Tyson Edwards starting to get busy in the midfield. It's just 9 points the difference. We played 21.5 minutes in the final term. Just over 6 remaining. Lathams again out of the middle. Ball inside 50. Gehrig underneath it for the Saints, and he goes back and takes the mark. St Kilda's last win was on July 28 last season, 250 days ago. And Stephen Powell has it at defensive 65. The runners stopped for the Saints. We noticed it about 5 minutes ago. Penny. The mood just changed. The Saints started to shut it down. And Adelaide have just kept on going. Clark will take it to the line, and we will have a throw in.
Crows just starting to win some important clearances around the stoppages at the moment.
Clark against Capuano.
This is dangerous because Clark is very good with his hands.
Got the tap down, but Harvey was on the right side of the pack. Wins it for the Saints. They need a steadier. To Moyle. He'll gather. He's on his wrong side. Kicks it inside 50. Milne a chance. He's got it.
Isn't that good play? Because Moyle on his non-preferred side, you would think the ball would drop short. He wouldn't have the same penetration. And Milne was clever enough to work his way to the front.
Yeah, good piece of play from St Kilda there. But Robert Harvey, that was where the play was set up. Drew the direct opponent, was able to free up Moyle. And like you said, KB, on his opposite side of the body, Stephen Milne read this. Importance of being in front. Who better would you like to be taking the kick for the Saints at the moment?
He's kicked 3. In different circumstances, he may run around the man on the mark. I don't know that we'll see it here. We just keep it simple. They need the goal, and they get it. Milne's got his 4th, and the Saints steady at the Telstra Dome. 1 in each quarter to Stephen Milne. And he won't kick too many more important than that. The margin back out to 15 points. We've gone 23.5 minutes.
Oh, that was a terrific kick under pressure. The herd was coming, so to speak. Adelaide have just been coming at St Kilda in the last quarter. Hopefully that's just the thing to stop the flow. They certainly need to make sure they get clean possession out of the centre square. If not, don't allow Adelaide an easy possession into their forward 50.
Stephen Milne, that man on screen, has booted 4 goals. We've played 24 minutes into this last quarter. The Saints by 15 points. Clark over the top to John Cock. Streams out of the centre square. McLeod it was to Tyson Edwards, 50 metres out. Long bomb. Big bomb. Big goal. Can you believe it? Straight away they've hit back. And again, the Crows within 9 points.
They're the two, Edwards and McLeod. Wayne, we said they need to match them up, and they are almost single-handedly dragging Adelaide back into this game.
They did, and we also mentioned, Jason, the importance of a clean getaway at the centre square. St Kilda did well to get a goal against the flow of traffic, but they've let themselves down there, allowing Adelaide, McLeod, Edwards, clean possession, and a great goal and a great reply for the Crows.
Time's the enemy for Adelaide. That is the best possible result. Straight out of the middle, no mucking around. Straight down for a goal. And it's back to 9 points again. We've gone 25 minutes in the final term at the Telstra Dome. Still plenty of time. Clark looking for another centre break. Stengline couldn't quite get foot to ball effectively. Black wins it for the Saints. It's a foot race now. Tawney leads Xavier Clark. Clark works his way to the front. They both go to ground. Rewalt there to support. Got boot to ball and the Saints are away. Here's Powell. He can run to 65. He runs to 55. Long kick to the goal square. They get back. It's 2-on-2 at ground level. Milne. 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 He's got 5.
Terrific contesting in the goal square. Great play by Rewalt on centre wing to spot up Powell, who's not really a penetrating kick. And, of course, therefore, you had that real contest in the goal square, and they did contest very hard and very strong, the Saints.
Yeah, I was a little bit concerned maybe Stephen Powell had picked the wrong option, but what that long kick towards the goal square did, had all the Adelaide defenders running towards goal. They had to then turn around, focus where the ball was, and that little guy there, he has done an absolute fantastic job for the Saints today.
Saints by 15 points. 5 goals to Stephen Milne. He's booted 5-3 today, including the first goal of the game to kickstart the Saints. 15-9-99, plays 12-12-84. The Crows won't go away. Stengline takes the hand pass from Edwards, pumps the ball deep inside 50. Couldn't take it, was Bassett. McLeod! He's kicked a goal! They won't go away, the Crows. And twice now they've hit back quickly by Tyson Edwards, and now Andrew McLeod, and again it's back to a 9-point ball game. What a fascinating contest.
Yeah, it's terrific. They managed to get another clean possession out of the centre square, and that's where the goals have come from in the last quarter. Adelaide, when they get a free run on the ball, players such as McLeod run into space, they're very dangerous. Now's the time that if I was Grant Thomas, I'd be encouraging some players up in their forward line, get behind the ball, just congest things up in their defensive half.
7 goals in 11.5 minutes of football. 5 to Adelaide, 2 to St Kilda. An amazing final term. Plenty of twists and turns. It's 9 points the difference. We've played 27 minutes.
Adelaide only able to kick 6 goals in 3 quarters. They kicked 7 goals in this last term.
And still 3.5 minutes. Here's McLeod again. Inside 50. Smart against Schwartz. Schwartz has got it. Wonderful contest. He goes wide and finds Moyle. At least the Saints have looked a little bit more offensive in the last couple of minutes. They've gone forward themselves. They haven't just shut up shop completely.
Just over 3 minutes left.
And it's Moyle. High kick to the wing. Hamill will fly for the Saints. Clark got it down only as far as Harvey. Rewalt wrapped up in a tackle by Stengline. And we'll have a bounce. McLeod up to 26 possessions. Edwards 23. They've had 12 and 11, respectively, in the final term. And look at that stat. Hit-outs 13-1. You can see why Edwards and McLeod have been so dominant. Matthew Clark has given them an armchair ride in this final term. Rewalt's now gone into the ruck to try and just body him, negate his effectiveness. But he goes again, Clark. Stengline waited. Harvey attacked it. Rides a bump from Bickley, stood up. Dished off the handball to Baker. Baker to half forward. Wolf's his target. It spills to the back. Milne taken in a tackle by Mattner. Milne goes again. Sockers it into the path of Powell. He's got John Cock to beat. They both go to ground. And Adelaide survive through Gallagher to Perry. They've got some space, but they don't have much time. Must move it quickly. Goodwin the target. Hayes set up well. Play on's the call. Hamill thumps it long. Wolf will fly again. Over the back of that contest, inside 50. Numbers there for Adelaide. Laddams to Stengline. John Cock in trouble behind the plate to Bickley. And the Crows are away again through the middle of the ground. Bickley in his 250th. Goes looking for Tawney. He's got Clark to beat, and he does. 45 metres out, Jason Tawney. We've gone 29 minutes. There's 1 3/4 minutes remaining. This to reduce it to 3 points. From 52 metres, the kick will go right to the line, and he misses. An important miss, that one, as John Cock limps to the line. He's not even coming through the gates. He's gone. Replaced by Brett Riley.
Ozzie Jones to bring the ball back into play. The Saints by 8 points. Major Gehrig will slow it down. Looking for Powell, goes wide. He's got 2 against 1, a dangerous kick. The kick was a beauty. Stephen Powell in no hurry. The Saints are about to cause a big upset. 99 plays 91. 23 possessions to Stephen Powell today. As he just hugs the boundary line. Hamill's going to be the target, slaps on, looking for Milne, the danger man. He's booted 5 goals today. McLeod just caught in 2 minds, goes short, bad decision. Taken by Black, who's a thumping kick. Telstra Dome will come alive if Black can go back and kicks this goal, because it's all over. He's Black. Disappointed last year in his first season with St Kilda. Had some injuries as well, coming off playing with Fremantle, where he was second in their best and fairest, but today he's been good. He's had it 16 times. It goes backwards, in fact, to Baker. So it's keeping's off, and they go back another 20 metres. So the ball's gone from having a shot for goal from right on 50 to being on the half-back flank. Looking for Harvey. Goes wide, Rewalt. So it's around the world in 80 days. Just a few seconds left in the game. A great roar will go around the stadium because St Kilda's pulled off a huge upset. The Adelaide Crows, along with Brisbane, favourites to win the flag this year. And St Kilda have defeated the Crows. And there's Stephen Milne. He's ecstatic. He's booted 5. Hutchton and Rewald embrace. 15-9-99. So Saints by 8 points over the Crows. 13-13-91.
Saints takes victory for the first time since July 28, 2002. That's 250 long days. But the drought is over from the boys, for the boys from Moorabbin. Milne finishing with 5 goals, Kazitsky with 3, Hamill 2. Singles to Hutchton, Baker and Wolf and Moyle. While for the Crows, Edwards 2, Tawney 2, Rashudo 2. A great return for Aaron Hamill this afternoon as we head downstairs to Mark Doran.
Thank you, Jason. Stevie Milne doing the right thing, giving the boys a shake of the hand, but you weren't giving them much, kicking 5 goals.
No, it was a good start. We planned this game all week and we had a full list, so it was good to have a win.
You played it a few times. I thought you were home a couple of times. In the end, you had to just keep producing.
Yeah, we did. They put Marcus Shooter down forward and he kicked a couple of goals, and I'd kick one, I'd get one really quickly, but credit to the boys. We fight it out and we come out with a win.
During the call, mate, I called you a fair dinkum freak show. Some of the things you're able to do when the goals are around are amazing.
Yeah, I practiced at training and they just come off during at the game time, so it's good enough to kick 5 goals today, and just a good reward.
Mate, the spirit of the boys over there looks fantastic. You better get over there.
Thanks, Mark.
Wonderful day's work for Stephen Milne. As I mentioned, finished with 5 goals. And a wonderful performance from him. St Kilda in nice and tight in the huddle. Just geeing each other up, telling themselves to enjoy the moment, Wayne, after a long drought. There's no better feeling in footy.
Well, look, they deserve it. They came out, they were ready to play from the opening bounce. It was such an even performance. There wasn't one standout player. I think they all carried the workload terrifically well. Their ability to put pressure on Adelaide. Adelaide a noted side. Run, spread, aggressive attack on the ball. They beat Adelaide at their own game. Just rewards. Look, take your hat off. And it certainly indicates or highlights the point that when you've got a fit list available, it makes a significant difference.
The Saints led at every change. 19 points at quarter time, 24 at half time, 33 at three-quarter time before the Crows did finish strongly. They kicked 7 goals to 3 in the final term, but it wasn't enough. St Kilda 15-9-99, defeating Adelaide 13-13-91. The final margin 8 points.